access in the spare part canisters.
Red 2, standing by.
Red 11, standing by.
Red 5, standing by.
Anakin, Chancellor Palpatine is evil! From my point of view, the Jedi are evil. Well, then you are lost!
Hello, everyone, and welcome again to Casual Rage. What are you laughing at, Greg?
Nothing. You're just the intro.
Like that? I was going to actually put in the Boba Brat saying when it's on Slave 1, but I thought, no, I'll better not do that. But hello...
I'll make a video just all about tracking fobs.
Just to trigger the shit out of me.
Hyperspacing from atmosphere.
Yeah, thanks. You've already done that with your meme that just keeps getting added to.
Hey, that meme is a work of art, I'll have you know.
Yeah, it is. It really is. No, well done. Hello, everyone. Yes, and welcome to Casual Rage 40, the big 4-0. We've made it to there.
Damn.
This show has been going for longer than a year, but of course there's been weeks where I haven't been able to do it. So, yeah, awesome. Welcome, everyone. We do have a bit to talk about. We are going to, of course, talk about the last episode of Bad Batch. Of course, there's an episode coming out tonight. And we are going to talk a bit about Loki as well. That series, very interesting. It started off and I thought that they were... I need to finish seeing it now to know what they've actually done. And that's what's really interesting.
They've hooked you.
They have. They actually have. Especially from the last episode, after I sat down and thought about it for a while, and I'm like, and I actually eventually watched the end credit scene. Yeah, I kind of did like it. So we'll get into that. But yes, welcome, Greg. Thank you for being here. Welcome. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Very, very good. Now, it is just me and Greg for the moment. Tim may be along shortly, and I've also shot the link out to our good friend Stig Kenobi, so hopefully he can jump on for a bit because there's a little bit of Star Wars stuff to talk about. But let's quickly have a look at the chat and see who's here. Miss Martin Muses came by earlier and left her wave and her rose. Thank you, Teresa. And we've got Timon. We've got Blake in the chat. We've got... Oh, that just jumped on me. Riff says the narrative's fucked. Yes, it is fucked. And we're going to get into something very early on that shows how fucked the narrative really is. We've got Tim F in the chat. The Sentinel. Woo! We've got Michael here. We've got Cellshade here. We've got Soul Assassin. All the usual culprits. We got Becky. Yes, Charles had to make his appearance, and now he's just showing everyone his ass. Metal on
before the stream, he knows when the stream starts because he wasn't there before the stream starts.
And we were talking for what, 15, 20 minutes before the stream starts, and he just...
Yep. And he's like, oh, show's on. I better get in my spot.
No appearance whatsoever. Did you see that, I think, who was it? Scimitar made it. You would have seen it where he's doing the Mission Impossible thing with the Mission Impossible music.
No, I didn't see that.
I'll have to show you. I'll have to find it and show you if you haven't seen it. It's so good. Trey's in the chat as well. Scimitar, speak of the devil, he is here. I can't stay long. Have fun. We will. And thank you for everything that you do. You're a very important part to my little corner of the internet because you do some great work making fun of me, especially. But yes, thank you everyone for being here. Now, let's get into the first couple of things. Now, of course, you saw on the title of this stream that we're going to talk about a Tik Toker. And I think...
say that again.
We're going to talk about a Tik Toker. Toker. All right. So I don't know how many people out there have seen this. Before we get into that. Hello, Tim.
There he is.
Hey, how are you? I guess
very well.
If it's okay for you to be late, it's okay for me to be late, right?
100%. 100%. No, I think I need to push the stream to that 12:30, so like 9:30 Central. I think that's for you guys. So,
well, it's just weird for me this week.
9:30 Central is what we started at.
what we used to start at.
That's
what we started at tonight.
Yeah, okay. But I used to start at 9:00 Central, so I think I got to push it just that half an hour. The Geek Blend. Hello, Jeff. I hope you're doing well. Yes, how's it going? Man, for me, it's just been really busy at work. Been selling a lot of cars. Can't supply them, though. It's ridiculous.
He's short selling vehicles.
Yeah. I've sold a car that I sold in March, and they're not going to see it for probably at least another 6 months.
Damn.
Like, it's actually crazy. Ellie's here. All right.
Yeah, I can't imagine buying a vehicle like that. If I'm at a dealership and I'm buying a new car, it's either you have the one I want and I'm driving off the lot today in it, or I'm not buying anything from you. Like,
yeah.
I'm not like I need a car 6 months from now. Usually, if I'm buying a car, it's because I need one now.
Well, this goes against people in Rhino's profession, but let me give everyone some advice, and it's some advice that I didn't make up, and you guys have probably heard it before. But if you ever get an itch to buy a new car, go ejaculate and then see if you still want to buy a new car. That's just a good piece of advice. Because a lot of times, if you do that, it's like, oh, that desire for a new car, it's gone. You know, it's just, you've seen Wolf of Wall Street. You know, how many times do you do that a day? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Post-nut clarity.
Tim sounds like I sounded like on the Full Aussie last week.
He's gonna. Poor Rhino's job is going to be going from selling cars to being a jizz mopper.
Yeah. Thank you.
Speaking of which, I heard that term today in Clerks. So.
A jizz mopper.
Yeah.
All right, before I show this, how old are you guys? If you
45.
Don't mind saying.
45.
You're both 45.
Yep.
Yeah, well, okay. Tim is much older than me.
6 months older, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm 37.
Oh, you young pup.
Yeah. Now, if you could be a different age, would you, and what age would that be?
Me, I'm going to go with 65. So I can collect. So I'm going to go older because, like, so there's milestones in life. You turn 18, you get access to stuff. You get to start to vote. You can, buy some smokes and everything. 21, you can buy liquor. At least, most states here in the United States. 25 is when your insurance finally gets like actually affordable for driving a car, unless you get married before 25. And then there's like no real good milestone until like 65, as far as like getting anything. So when you turn 65, I would choose to be 65 so I can collect Social Security. Because I mean, let's face it, 20 years from now, it's not even going to be there. So might as well collect some now. I can get Medicare. And I can start withdrawing from my 401ks without any penalty. Without any tax penalties. So, and I can start taking distributions on that stuff. So if I need money for a purpose, then I can get it. So yeah, 65.
There's some good logic there. What about you, Tim? What would you do?
It's a trick question because do I get to be the age and know what I know now?
Yes.
No.
I don't want to relive my life at certain ages.
Well, if you identify that way, then essentially yes.
Yeah, so we're talking about identifying age, not like. So I want to identify as 65, not be 65.
29, because I liked a lot of stuff about that age. But if I can know what I know now and be 29, I'd be golden. So, what about you, Rhino?
Well, in the case of what we're actually talking about, I'd go for something like 12. And then I would do every single person that slept with me for sleeping with a minor. So just
Wow.
just for the fun of it, you know.
Rhino, you understand that if you actually have any nude pictures of yourself, you are in possession of child pornography then. And if you were monetized, that phrase just ended that. Sorry, YouTube. It's a joke. But literally, yeah, you'd be in possession.
Hopefully, it's not the whole channel.
Self-distribution. It doesn't matter.
No,
Okay.
it does. They can actually charge you for distributing yourself.
All right. Well, maybe I won't go that far because I don't know if even this is legal at the age of 12. All right. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. Let's take a listen to this. Let's just listen.
I get this comment like literally every day. I
Literally?
identify as 25. Please respect the way I identify. I identify as a 25-year-old. I get this comment.
It's so funny right at the end there. It's like he cuts it off before he says man because he's all about the identity stuff and he can't say man at the end. But
Wow.
Honestly, what does this world come to, people? Please respect how I identify. So when you go to put your date of birth on something, what's your fucking date of birth?
Right.
Well, if you don't, the way the modern world works is if you don't cater to his delusions, then you're being oppressive and
Bigoted.
Yeah.
I just think it's
because
so
everybody is
stupid.
supposed to cater to everybody else's whims and desires. That's how it works now.
But okay, so in this day and age, you can identify as a man if you're a woman. You can identify as a woman if you're a man. You can identify as neither if you feel like you're neither. Or you can identify as non-binary. So one day you can be a man, one day you can be a woman, one day you can be a nothing, one day you can be a very fucking something, right? But like, what is this? I'm identifying as a different age, right? And then this fucking retard goes so much fucking further.
No, I don't think he identified as that.
Well, I'm sorry. That's the one thing you probably should.
I identify as having an extra long chromosome.
And this is the exact same person. And I don't know how many people out there saw this. And this just came across my Twitter feed. I don't know how, but it did.
Oh,
this one.
Oh yeah.
So this is the same.
This is great.
This is the same person. Let's have a listen.
Or anyone online as British because I identify as Korean. That's just my culture. That's my home country. That's exactly how I look now. And I also identify as Jimin. That's my Korean name. But not only that, I know it's a little bit confusing for some people. Nobody's ever come out as Jimin or Korean. But this is something that you guys know if you follow my journey for the last 8 years. I've really struggled with identity issues, with who I am. You know, or anyone online as.
So he's talking about coming out of the closet as a fucking different culture.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to, I just come out and say, all right, I'm American. I'm a black American. I've been oppressed my entire life here in Australia, but
is your dick any bigger now?
I've been in the wrong country and I've been in the wrong body.
Well, I'll tell you, if they do reparations, I'm totally identifying.
So here's the paradox, right? This person right here, I don't know what gender they were before or after this shit, but this person right here, here's the paradox. Are they doing yellow face or are they someone we should support because they're, you know, whoever you identify as, you can't discriminate against it. So which is higher up on the hierarchy, doing yellow face or supporting someone who is just coming out of the closet as whatever they identify as? Which is which? I don't know what.
Right, because we also live in a world where, like, if an actress wears a Japanese dress, she's canceled for appropriating Japanese culture. But like, a white dude can like, I guess if you go under the knife, then it like cancels it out. Like, then you're super serious. But like, that doesn't apply with the gender thing because like,
no,
that you don't have to go under the knife. It's just whatever. I mean, we had that that person who complained at the spa. That video went viral this last week. Then you had there was a story where like a teenage born female identifies male was just walking around topless and
Oh, I saw that.
Around a whole pool area, and it was like, well, because he identifies as male, so then it's fine because males can walk around topless. And I'm like, what a brilliant way to free the nipple. I'm kind of for it.
Well, what about the Supreme Court this past week?
Yeah, punting.
Yeah, and that's so for those that don't know, because I know we got a big Aussie audience here, they declined to hear an appeal on a case where a guy, I guess, went into a ladies' restroom. Is that kind of what the story is, Greg? A guy went into a ladies' restroom.
It was about yes, but it was about a law in whatever state it was from. I want to say it was North Carolina, but
yeah. So they can't have a law forbidding someone that is biologically the wrong sex going into the restroom that they are not biologically aligned with. So that's the Supreme Court. So for those that don't know, we have this appeal process, and that's the highest court in the land. They declined to hear that case, which is pretty much, or did they decline to hear it, or did they actually rule? I don't recall on that one. Same effect.
No, I think in that one they just declined to take up the case. It was so the Supreme Court, under its current leadership, Roberts is a terrible, awful Chief Justice, because they're like, if you look at a lot of their cases, what they try to do is rule as narrowly as possible, and basically their job is to not be controversial by basically not doing anything.
Right.
So whenever there's even the slightest out for them to just not take the case, and we saw this in the election lawsuits as well, they will just not take the case.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like, no, don't want to take the case. They did it with one of the lawsuits about the rent cancellation.
Yeah.
Whether or not the Department of Housing and Development could establish without a law a moratorium on evictions. And the Supreme Court's basically like, well, they're going to end it like, we think it's pretty much illegal, but we're just not going to rule on it because it's about to expire anyway. So you have a Supreme Court that's very averse to trying to do anything.
Yeah. So essentially it sets a precedent that it's okay to use the opposite bathroom, even though the people using it, their feelings are not as important. Like if you're a lady and you don't want a guy in your restroom.
Bringing that back around to this, I wonder how all the Koreans feel looking at this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just because you gave yourself Korean-looking eyes does not make you... And also, too, how disrespectful is this to his ancestors?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like the idea, like, okay, culture is a very mutable thing. You can adopt
tell you now, though,
any culture you want.
In my culture, if, let's say, my grandfather, God rest his soul, was still alive, I came out and then started saying, okay, I'm going to identify as fucking Japanese or something like that. Or let's go I'm going to identify as Turkish, the country, or it's Italy, the country that bombed Malta.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, my grandfather would disown me. He wouldn't understand it. He'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Your background is Maltese, right? That's your culture. Where you come from is Malta. Not fucking over here, not fucking over there. And it's the same thing with the age thing. Like, dude, you were born on this day. It's called a birthday. It's so retarded. The world's gone.
So can I ask, what are the SJWs doing? Are they supporting this person we're looking at now?
They would have to be. There
What
was,
are they though? Are they in the tweets and all that shit? I have no idea.
My gathering is they're just staying the fuck away from it because they know
Okay.
it's a trap.
It's a
Because
paradox, yeah.
If you apply logic
Mhm.
to deny him his belief that he is Korean is the same as denying a transgender woman is actually a man.
Yeah.
Or, like the two are like logically equal. So it's an interesting trap because you're like the other side can basically still say, have a consistent argument. Like, no, you're not. But that one, you really do some bending and some twisting and be like, well, no, gender is different. Gender is more mutable than race. And like, so really? Like, your gender identity is more mutable than your race. How?
yeah.
They're just clearly not. That's why I said, this is kind of brilliant. Because it is kind of the slippery slope. It does apply. Like,
Well,
the same logical arguments to say that you have to adhere to somebody's. Like, I don't have a problem if this guy says whatever he can say, whatever the hell he thinks he is. Like, my issue is like, I don't have to cater to it.
Yep.
Right.
I don't have to adjust my worldview in order to protect this guy's feelings because I don't know this guy. I don't care about this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody asked me what's his race, and I would say British.
Yep.
He's a British guy. He's not a
white
Korean.
guy.
He's a white British guy. And I don't care how much he says he's different, and he's not. I don't care.
Well, I just can't wait till we get to the other end of all of this identity bullshit, and people actually realize how fucking pathetically stupid everything is right now. And this guy's going to look like the biggest fool.
Yeah, most definitely.
Like, it's a trend. When you're at school and, slinkies became a thing, and then yo-yos became a thing, and then something else became a thing.
Are you 37 or 80?
Yeah. Okay. What about the fidget spinners? And
I remember when hula hoops came out and they were all the rage.
I'm just talking, man, we had a yo-yo. We had a massive yo-yo phase at my school. But
yeah, I don't doubt it.
Doing all the tricks, licking the windows. No. Anyway, fucking I just can't wait, like I said, to get to the other end of all of this and see these people go, oh, yeah, okay, I was being a bit fucking hyperbolic about fucking making myself look Korean and saying I'm 35, saying I'm 25 when I'm really 35, and please respect. Like, I can't wait for the day where they hear that back and go, and they cringe at themselves.
I don't think they're ever going to cringe at themselves. I think what needs to happen is the public at large just needs to kind of put their foot down and say, like, sure, Jan, whatever you say, and then just not change a thing. Like, look, don't care what you do. I don't care how many surgeries you have. I don't really fucking care. I really don't. And you should not care whether I call you a he, a she, a they, a them, or whatever the fuck you think you should be called. It don't fucking matter.
Well, it never has. I don't understand why it all of a sudden does now.
Because victimhood is a currency.
Yeah, you're right.
Heroism is dead. Victimhood is a currency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
all the statues of heroes are coming down. And you see it in pop culture. They're systematically one by one dismantling them, destroying them, and it's all being replaced with victims.
Well, and just like
because there is no bigger achievement than to become a victim.
Well, and just like with cryptocurrency, there's no bigger achievement than to mine, whatever cryptocurrency you're after, right? Whether it's a Bitcoin. And that's what this guy, they're trying to mine. What's the apex of victimhood, and this is what it's an attempt, and I think he's going to have a swing and a miss on this one because he's literally doing yellowface here. That's what it is. It's like Soul Man, the movie from the 80s, you know. There's no difference. And you can say, well, there's a difference because this is what they're identifying as. Well, yeah, right. That's not.
Yeah, he's like, he really feels that way versus he's just trying to get a scholarship.
I am questioning the genuine nature of this surgery and the reason behind it. That's what I'm doing right here. I'm admitting it because it's bullshit.
Well, I think there at some point, like I believe, you do you, but again, as a society, who we have rules and norms, and I think that the medical profession that is catering to these people and profiting off of their illness, as morally they're as morally reprehensible as people who experimented on minorities in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Tuskegee, all that stuff, the experiments that the bad guys in World War II did. They're of the same moral class, because this guy who did the Tik Toker, I don't know his name. I don't even fucking care.
Yeah,
whatever his name is, he said his new identity. I don't care. I'm going to call him Billy Bob because I know that's probably going to piss him off. So Billy Bob, the Korean, the British Korean, has probably spent upwards of $50,000+ on those surgeries, because he said he had 10, 11 surgeries.
Yeah, something like that.
That doctor has made a fortune off of his illness, and clearly he knows he's ill, but he's doing it anyway. And I think those kind of quacks need to lose their license.
I agree.
I'm not a big statist or anything, but there does need to be some rules and some norms and some lines drawn. And what these doctors are doing is a line too far. Mm-hmm. They're horrible human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Let me hit these super chats real quick. We got Daniel James for 449. He says there are only 2 genders. Correct. There are only 2 genders. Now, I also missed one from last week on Streamlabs. This was from Jock Nerdy. He sent it just as we ended. So he sent a $50 one earlier in that stream, and it just said click, click, boom. So thank you for that one. But then he followed it up with another $25 one saying, boom, here comes the boom. So thank you, Jock Nerdy, for that. I appreciate that. I thought I'd better at least get to that one. And Philibooty, see, I told you guys, we had a traveling group of yo-yoers, and they blew up at school for about 8 months back in 97, 98. And the woke have started to attack them on Twitter. Well, of course they have, because,
Well, is it yo-yo's racist now? What's the attack?
Probably. It was the white person's, privilege toy.
Wow.
That's what it was. Something like that.
a fucking disc on a string. Okay.
But yes, thank you for those super chats. And that was for $5. Thank you, Philibooty. Let me see what I can get.
And by the way, I know we mentioned the fidget spinners are an abomination.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are. Sorry, go on.
When those motherfuckers got big, and of course we caught the end of the wave, because that's what my company always did. Is hey, what was trendy 8 months ago? Let's order 10 million of it. And basically, for every one that we sold, 15 got stolen. So if you had a fidget spinner, I automatically assumed you were a thief.
You're a thief. You stole that.
Statistically, yeah.
Statistically, I believe that would to me be evidence enough to follow you and surveil you in my store. Up, you have a fidget spinner.
Okay,
With you.
play the clip, Rhino, and I'll give my thoughts on yo-yos.
This is my for everyone that sent a super chat. Thank
They
you.
came bounding over.
Fuck off! Disney! You fucking cunt!
That's the greatest thing ever. I have it on my channel too. So
Yes.
no,
You should upload the clip I made of you saying "fuck off"
The one with the
as Omega, bearded Omega.
oh, dude, bring that up. Actually, can you bring that up? I want to show that. It pissed me off.
Let
but it
Tim
was
talk. I'm
fucking
sorry,
funny.
Tim.
Yeah, go Tim. What were you going to say about
no, I was going to
yo-yos?
say, if you think yo-yos are racist, do you guys remember Jax? The game with the little bouncing ball.
Oh yeah.
That's even more racist because black people think you're mocking them for playing dice. So
What?
Man,
Are you serious?
well-
no, it's not a real thing. It's a joke I just made.
Okay. Like, oh my god.
Now it's funny that you guys know it's a fucking joke, right?
Fine. Yeah.
Shit. I'm waiting for Trey's laughy faces here.
Yes. All right, good. Let's I just wanted to show that because it showed up on my feed and I was like, I just can't believe that this is the world that we live in. When a person can come out and say, I'm no longer 34 or whatever, I'm 25, and you better respect that because that's how I identify. And if I don't respect that, that makes me an ageist or something. And then like, okay, so you've given yourself some Korean looking eyes and you're now identifying as Korean. Well, I'm sorry. If that's how far, that's an illness. That's a mental illness. It's fucking weird cunts, I'll tell you what.
Yes.
Okay. Philibooty for another $5 says the woke have started to attack the Korean. The woke have started to attack the Korean, not yo-yos. Google leftist outrage, transracial Korean. Daily Wire posted that. Daily Wire posted an article. Pretty much butchered that one, but okay. I just don't understand when we live in a world where if I don't respect this person's wishes, I'm the bad guy. It's just retarded. Absolutely retarded. And I'll give you that one.
All I can think about is Ryan Johnson sucking my nuts.
All right. Let's move on, shall we? Now, this was something that got slid across my desk. Greg, we got that Patty Jenkins article. The Bounding into Comics article on Patty Jenkins doing
Patty Jenkins. Yep.
Doing her Rogue Squadron's movie. Now, I haven't read the article. Neither has Greg, I don't think. And I don't know if Tim, have you read this article at all?
I haven't read the article, but I'll be right back, okay?
Okay.
And I will be happy to read it for you and give you my thoughts as someone who has read the series about 3 times. Okay. And I guess I'm gonna read it a 4th because Alora is going to do that as her next book club thing. And it's one of my most favorite series. And I'm going on.
Whoa. Did he just disappear for everyone else?
Yeah.
Come back, Tim.
Well, he's on my screen. I just can't hear him.
He muted himself.
He's muted.
I don't know. Sorry, guys. He kind of half cut off there. Hello, Keely. Well, while we wait for Tim to come back and he can read this for us, let me jump out of the screen for a sec. Let me talk about this real quick. So I saw this pop up on Disney Plus, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about this because I have a problem with this, but I don't have a problem with this.
Backers.
Okay. I'm just going to talk about this real quick, and we'll go to that other article. So this week I saw on Disney Plus they've got a new documentary called Pride, and of course, being Pride Month and everything, they've come out with it. Now,
Of course,
there is
No pun intended. Yeah.
there is one thing that I will say. Did I miss something?
Yeah, you said they've come out with
came
it.
out with it.
Huh.
As in, yeah.
No pun intended.
Well, it was a Freudian slip. So.
Yeah. Now I've got a problem and I don't have a problem. So the reason why I don't have a problem necessarily with this is because, okay, if I was to have a problem with this, then I've got a problem with everything, every historical sort of documentary that's ever come out. Because this, like in the description, it basically just talks about how it's dealing with, homophobia and all of that sort of thing, and homosexuals and what it was like in the 50s moving into the 90s and what it is today. Now, where I do have a problem with this is that Disney Plus is a more probably a child streaming service, a kids streaming service. They've got it on their homepage. It's right there. Like it's almost like, let's say, Netflix putting cuties on their, billboarding cuties. But in saying that too, I haven't watched it, but like, if you look at what the whole Pride movement has become today, right, and the activism and everything that goes in behind it, I feel like it is just a big virtue signal, and especially from Disney. So I just wanted to quickly bring that up and just show that they just can't help themselves.
Is that Kamala Harris's niece in that other picture?
This one?
Yeah. It looks like her, him, it, whatever. The one that doesn't shave her armpits.
Yeah, she probably
that's,
yeah.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gross.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I just saw that and thought it was a little bit ridiculous. You guys got any comment on it?
It's a puff piece, no pun intended. It's a lot of those. Oh, this is Disney, not Netflix. Holy shit!
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is
wow.
Disney. This is Disney's homepage.
I was about to go on one rant, but now I'm like, wait a minute, this is on Disney Plus. That makes everything different. Yeah, that's wow. So it's propaganda. It's not something that any good parent would let their kids watch, and not just because, hey, you don't want to support people that have different orientations than you do, but it's beyond that. It's about identity politics. It's about indoctrinating them into the woke culture. I guarantee that's what this is about. You can tell which documentaries are bullshit and which are not. As an example, earlier tonight I was watching the A&E documentary of Macho Man Randy Savage, a wrestler, but then I'm going to go watch the Dark Side of the Ring version of it that tells the real story of his life. So you can tell which ones are just puff pieces and which are bullshit. And this is propaganda. I mean, look at the description.
Yeah.
Victimization and all that stuff.
And they refer to it as like the culture war, and it's just, I don't know. What do you guys think, chat? Do you think like this is sort of appropriate for a Disney Plus homepage promotional thing in Pride Month? I mean, you go on Facebook now, you go on Twitter, you go on YouTube, and they've got little scrolling, pride emojis in the top corners. Like, it's just like, really? Do we need to know that YouTube supports gay and lesbian and non-binary and LGBTQ? Do we really need to know that? No, I don't fucking care.
No.
I really don't fucking care. And this is what I have to say about it.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
Disney.
It's so good. Fuck off.
Well, trying to get it to sync was I would have put the Disney in there, but
You couldn't make it work.
yeah, the sync would have been like I'm sure I could if I wanted to take like a long time to make the video, but not quite worth it.
Mm. Anyway, that's it on that. I didn't. Yeah, fuck off. That's right. Fuck off Disney and fuck off this fucking doco.
Yeah.
One more time, Greg.
Fuck off.
It does it too fast. Where did you get this idea from, Greg?
Fuck off.
It was
Fuck
I don't know,
off.
like I want to say Steph posted it in one of the the GIF without any of the audio on some Twitter thread, and I'm like, it looks like he's saying "fuck off," and I'm like, ooh, I think I got like an audio clip somewhere of him saying "fuck off," but not like screaming it because it wouldn't work if he was screaming it.
Yeah,
like the guy who's like, and he came bonding over and fuck off today. Like that wouldn't work there. But this one, it was just kind of a casual, like, fuck off. Yeah, came bounding over and then fuck off, Disney. Like it wouldn't have worked, but I did find a clip that was like low key enough where this works. It looks like
it does.
And no one should ever feel disappointed in themselves because they can't match that one that Daniel made, because that's the all-time great.
Oh yeah, that was
ever like the greatest clip ever. It's
They came bounding over.
Fuck off, Disney, you fucking cunt.
Yeah, I mean that's beautiful stuff right there.
Yeah, it is. Well done, Daniel.
There is the one where it's like the Disney opening. Yeah, and it's got the castle and the thing.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's another one I made.
That's the one that Greg made.
Where it does like the Looney Tunes circle and like he's in the circle and he goes, "Fuck off, Disney."
I need to see that one. I've never seen it.
Oh, haven't you? Oh, we'll have to show that one.
Mm-hmm.
I get a copyright claim if I show that one here because of the
because it's got that Disney intro music. Yeah, like when you wish upon a star theme.
Yeah,
right.
But yeah,
I've got the article pulled up. If
all right, yes, let's do that. Let's talk a little bit about this Rogue Squadrons, and then we'll get into some other Star Wars and some other Marvel.
Word up. Yeah. So
actually,
to start out, this movie, again, they're scouring the expanded universe, looking for stuff to try and milk. Right? Looking for stuff they can appropriate, anything to try and attract that crowd that they know will come because of the name. That crowd they know will come because, I love this and I love that. You see it out there from people that are desperate for Star Wars. Mm-hmm. And I think the new stuff to these people is more attractive because it gives them something to talk about with other people right now. You have 30, 40 years of old stuff, but it's harder to talk about that stuff with people because is anyone really reading the old stuff? We have a movement trying to get people to read and watch the older stuff, but there's only a certain amount of people. But they see all these other people like, wow, they're talking about The Mandalorian and all this stuff. So these people want to like it and they almost convince themselves to like it. And Disney, Star Wars, Disney, Lucasfilm knows this. And that's why they look at what's popular in the Rogue Squadron. That was popular. It's ranked as one of the all-time best series, the best books, the best comics. Let's do that because they know that some people will come and watch. So that's why this is happening.
Let me ask you a quick question, Tim. Now, does Rogue Squadron story tie in to the mainline trilogy story?
You mean the original trilogy?
Original trilogy, prequels, like that whole main story.
Yeah, let's put it this way: the second book, right? Mm-hmm. Wedge's Gamble. It's about them taking Coruscant from the Empire.
Right.
You mean the First Order?
Are you talking about the expanded universe book, or are you talking about Are you talking about Disney?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Is like how's that going to work? Like,
I get, yeah. I get what you're saying. But my point is the original story. That's how it wasn't just some stories about Wedge and some fighter pilots. It was what's happening right now in the galaxy. What's the main thing happening? Well, it was
tied to the greater conflict.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was going to say, like,
that's a huge event, you know.
Yeah, where Star Wars has failed the most is when it does not tie in.
Mm-hmm.
It bothers me because, you know, Mandalorian really gets like a lot of people are like, well, it doesn't, you know, it's often its own thing and it's more like the original trilogy, and it's like, but it's not. They had a Baby Yoda species throwing around the Force in the second episode.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they had the Boba Fett tease in like the fifth episode. They had, you know, and then in the second season you had everybody coming in. Oh, you had the Darksaber tease at the end of the first season. Then you had more Darksaber stuff, more Baby Yoda stuff. Oh, here's actual Boba Fett. Oh, now here's Bo-Katan. Now, here's Ahsoka. Like, to pretend like this is some standalone thing is just like bullshit. It is like they're doing everything they can to anchor it to the main events of the galaxy.
Yep. Yes.
And I think I think you could do an interesting TV show that doesn't tie in at all. But for like a mainline movie, I don't think that would be successful at all. And I think that was one of the turnoffs, in addition to the fact that Last Jedi sucked, about the Solo movie, was it really wasn't about anything that is part of that main conflict. Not really. Versus like Rogue One was. It tied in.
And this is the other thing, too, that I look at is, you know how from the sequel trilogy, we get all these explanations of how these things actually work through the books that they're coming out with or the comics that they're coming out with. And then it just opens up a bigger can of worms of problems and all of that kind of thing, right? The thing that oh, fuck it, now I can't really remember where I was going with that. No, I had a really good point, but I kind of lost it. I'm sorry.
We'll give you credit anyway.
Oh, it'll come to me. It will come to me.
That's what rage does to the brain cells, people.
But that's kind of teeing up the reason for this movie, because it is a movie at this point. It's not a 8-episode series with varying lengths of episodes. It's an actual movie. I don't know. We'll have to read the story here. I don't know if they intend for it to be a trilogy or whatever, but it's kind of a strange choice. You know, I think they're trying to get back to that Rogue One success.
It is. And like Patty Jenkins got her work cut out for it because of the fact it is a movie. They can't go the Favreau Filoni route of having like zero consideration for pacing. You know, when people go see a movie, they expect a particular pace and they expect that the pace to be managed. And when you do episode TV, like, you can just meander around and not really go anywhere.
Oh, yeah, and we'll have to read the story again. We'll get to that in a second. But I don't know if the story itself tells us the time period, but I remember hearing it happens way after Return of the Jedi. I don't know.
I know it was originally supposed to be, like after, not Rise of Skywalker. It was supposed to be after. Originally,
then.
Well, also too, haven't we had confirmation? Also, too, haven't we had confirmation that it's all going to be connected? Like, in some way? From Bad Batch to Kenobi to all of it? Like, it's all going to be leading to the sequel trilogy. I don't understand this whole thing of retconning the sequel trilogy. Like,
confirmation in this sphere is one of the least useful words there is, because it literally means nothing now.
Right.
Like, you could have two people agree on something, and that's somehow confirmation of something that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, that's circular logic and all that.
Yeah, and literally without any grains of salt or anything, it was just put out there as like, this is fact now, based on
like
an opinion about an article.
All right, let's read it.
It wouldn't surprise me if, like, just quickly, it wouldn't surprise me if Omega was the one that Palpatine slept with or something, like, and that's Rey's grandmother or something. Like, it honestly wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. They make him a child molester in the process, and he's even more evil.
No, I'm telling you, Bobo fucked his sister, and they ended up with a flipper baby, and that was Snoke.
Oh man, we need to have like a submission for that. Like, what's the most outlandish theory for Snoke? And these, unlike several years ago, these Snoke theories won't suck. All right, Patty by John F. Trent, our man at Bounding into Comics. Patty Jenkins lays out her vision for the upcoming Star Wars Rogue Squadron movie. There she is. Director Patty Jenkins, known for her Wonder Woman films, really her Wonder Woman film, because we all know that Zack Snyder was really behind the camera and behind the scenes on the first one, and that's why it didn't suck, recently laid out her vision for the upcoming Star Wars Rogue Squadron film. The Rogue Squadron film was announced back in December 2020 during Disney's 2020 Investor Day. Remember the whole thing with KK standing in front of the screen with all the different series and movie logos and shit, like Gay Lando and all that stuff. And then she did this little thing where she was talking and then she jumped into the cockpit of a fighter jet. It was really corny. Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy announced, and to close today, I couldn't be more excited that our next Star Wars feature film will be directed by Patty Jenkins. Patty, director of the Wonder Woman franchise, will bring her inspired vision to Rogue Squadron.
The Wonder Woman franchise? I don't think Wonder Woman's a franchise, is it?
It depends how you define a franchise, but with I guess a third movie on the way. That's what I hear somehow. You know,
sorry, go on. That just stood out.
And again, Zach pretty much made sure the first one didn't suck. So
yeah, well, I mean, she gets credit for what? The Hurt Locker too, right?
That's an old one, isn't it? Like from 2002 or something? No, maybe 2006.
That's the one with Jeremy Renner in it, right?
Think so.
I don't know.
Anyway, this story will introduce a new generation of starfighter pilots as they earn their wings and risk their lives in a boundary pushing, I repeat, high-speed thrill ride, Kennedy continued. She concluded, the legend of Rogue Squadron has been long beloved by Star Wars fans and will move us into a future era of the galaxy. Rogue Squadron will be released in theaters Christmas of 2023. Boundary pushing. What could that mean?
Yeah.
I think we know.
Yeah, it's a bit like when you hear that Black Widow is going to make all the men cringe and squirm in their seats because it's putting them in their place. Like, okay, that makes me want to go and see it, doesn't it? Anyway.
Well, I got a wild one for you guys. Why, if their stuff is so great and so successful, why don't they just do Alphabet Squadron? Why don't they make a movie out of that?
They have.
just call it that.
It's called Q-Force.
What?
Q-Force.
I don't want to guess what the Q stands for.
We played the trailer. It's an actual thing on Netflix. They're doing Q-Force. It's gay and lesbian superheroes.
Oh my God! Yes, I remember. You had played that on Full Aussie, didn't you?
Yeah, we played it on the Full Aussie.
Oh my God, that was so cringy.
Wow!
You just made my little bottom go beep.
Yes, the boop.
So the Q really does stand for okay.
But that's what I'm saying. Like when you hear something advertised this way, like again, I bring it back to Black Widow. If they're going to come out and tell us that, you know, all the men that are going to be watching this, it's going to put you all in your place. So you're going to be sitting there feeling like real uncomfortable and real. Who wants to? You think I want to pay $15 to go and have that feeling when I'm seeing my entertainment?
Yeah.
No. I don't know who in their right mind would want to. And I don't know who in their right mind could go there, sit there, watch that and go, yes, that's empowering. Fucking whatever. Apparently there's a massive conversation about periods, but whatever.
But yeah, my point was they won't do an Alphabet Squadron movie because they know it wouldn't sell. They know this name will. I can go to my bookstore right now, the big box bookstore, And I guarantee there's still a stack of the hardcover of the first Alphabet Squadron novel, which is, I think, this month, actually. I think it's 3 years old, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. And it's still sitting there in a stack. Yet, Rogue Squadron will sell, just like we pointed out last week when they announced these new trade paperbacks, the next wave of expanded universe stuff. They're doing the first Rogue Squadron book, but guess what? It's not the X-Wing series, it's the Rogue Squadron series, because they're trying to, prep people for that. Anyway.
They fly now.
Yeah.
Continue.
Following Kennedy's announcement, Jenkins shared a video to social media. This is the one I was talking about earlier, where she described that she hopes to make the film the greatest fighter pilot movie of all time. I don't know if there's any music in this, and I'm not sharing audio, but we can kind of look at the... It's too long, though. Shit.
Click through it a bit. Oh, yeah, it's just talking.
Sitting in her... Oh, she's taking inline speed.
We could listen to that.
I'd have to share audio.
Yeah, jump out and share audio quickly. While you're doing that, I did see Jock Nerdy in the chat. I don't know if he heard me shout out his super chat from last week. So thank you, Jock Nerdy, if you're still here for that $25, saying "boom, here comes the boom." So thank you.
He must have been drunk listening to like Saliva that night or something. Okay, here we go.
It was like right as we finished. He said,
"Oh, okay,
yeah." All right, let's share the audio
of any kind. I think that's because I grew up the daughter of a great fighter pilot, and every day I would wake up and go outside and look up, and see my father and his squadron taking off in their F-4s, roaring across the sky, and it was the most thrilling thing still I've experienced in my entire life. So when he lost his life in service to this country, it ignited a desire in me to turn all of that tragedy and thrill into one day making the greatest fighter pilot movie of all time.
But you haven't done it yet.
But try as I might and look as I did, I couldn't find the right story ever. I kept looking and looking, but I just couldn't find the right one until now. Now I found a movie about two things I love.
Space
so
universe.
I'm going to see you very soon.
Yeah, and we're supposed to believe that she's going to get in that X-Wing and fly away. Okay.
See if it shows anything at the end here. No.
Okay. First of all, I don't see, I was about to bring that up. Top Gun. Top Gun's a fighter pilot movie, right? Star Wars, no matter how you put it, I'm sorry, even Rogue Squadron, whatever, it's not a fighter pilot movie per se. It's still Star Wars. So yeah, she might bring some decent stuff to the table. But I don't know.
Well, that whole little video clip, it was all about trying to gain credibility in the eyes of hardcore fans. That's all that was. So that they can get you there the first day before, they reveal.
Yeah, hey, look, we're gonna make a cool fighter pilot Top Gun in space movie. I mean, on the surface of it, that sounds interesting. Especially if you like Top Gun, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there any more?
Because what people say is
quite long, actually.
They'll say that, well, George Lucas, he used dog fights and World War II dog fights to model like the X-Wing fights and New Hope and everything. So I mean, so doing dog fights in space is totally Star Wars. I mean, it's a cool moment in Star Wars, but like to me that doesn't represent what makes Star Wars great. Just like the aliens and the droids and everything, it all looks cool, but that's not the essence of Star Wars. But
it's all about, like, as far as I know, like this X-Wing series, the Rogue Squadron, it's all about pretty much Wedge, right? Am I right in saying that, Tim?
In the books?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And obviously his crew that are a part of Rogue Squadron.
Mm-hmm.
I foresee many changes coming from the source material.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Well,
if we've got
can't be
any
about him.
No, and I don't think they're even gonna. You got to remember, when Disney takes from, quote, the source material, they take general concepts, character designs, and things like that, and then plug in their own stories.
Yeah.
They don't generally like follow. They don't take like an EU book and go, okay, we're going to make a movie about this book. They take a character from this book and a character from this book and a concept from this book, and then they smash it all together. So basically, they're using the EU to do all of their character design and set designs and everything, but they're not taking the actual stories, which is what a lot of, correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, it's what a lot of people have a problem with them taking from the EU, is because they're not taking it from the EU. They're plagiarizing little bits and pieces. Like, they took all the EU books and threw them in a grinder, and they're just picking pieces.
Oh, and at the same time, it makes people mad because they're capitalizing on the name, or trying to capitalize on, it's Thrawn,
Right.
And what's next? Who's next? Mara Jade? Who's the next big thing that they're going to bring in from Expanded Universe? That's what they're doing. And then you get people that are clapping when they see it, and you literally see it like, oh, it would be so cool if they did this. Because I think it's a community thing. They want to like get together and clap together, and that's why it's somewhat working for Disney.
I fully believe that they'll take Mara Jade and bring her into the Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a way to have a tie to Luke without bringing in a CGI Luke. You can cast anybody you want as Mara Jade, because we haven't seen her before. We can just have her be like, and then she could talk about Luke and refer to Luke and say, Luke said this, but then you don't have to do CGI Luke.
Right.
So, like, I would fully expect to see her in an upcoming, because in order to use her, you have to use her in the right timeline, because to bring in Mara Jade and then not have her be with Luke, then it's not really Mara Jade anymore. It's just
right.
It'd just be just a female Jedi.
Yeah.
On my channel, my biggest viewed video, and it's still counting. It's crazy. It must have hit some kind of algorithm. Was why they won't be able to adapt Heir to the Empire.
Yeah,
and I go through not even every reason. I go through the big reasons, and just because you have the name and you have a few characters, and maybe from an extremely high level, the basic plot concept, it doesn't mean you're adapting that. It means you're bastardizing it and just trying to leech off of it. So
now I got no evidence, I got no sources, I got no agents, but the one thing that I foresee happening with this series is that Wedge gets killed off and he gets replaced by the female character.
There you go.
I'm sorry if that's, going to offend someone, but everything that I'm seeing through Star Wars right now out of Lucasfilm is pretty much that. Killing off.
I don't think they'll even have Wedge in it at all. They'll have his daughter.
Well, no, I think that they will. But it'll be like the most recent Terminator movie. They'll kill him in the first 10 minutes.
Oh, they're going to John Connors him? Oh.
Yeah, they're going to John Connor him. Or
please do.
I'm with you there. I'm like, please do that. But if they don't do that, I foresee this like going through a story. Wedge gets to the end and he dies at the end of this movie, and then they'll do a sequel to it. And the strong female character will take his place as the leader of Rogue Squadron. Now, again, in this day and age that we live in, things like that become more, you see it more, and it becomes more sort of prevalent, right? So when you see something like that, it's kind of like, oh, what the fuck are you doing? But with Disney, and with everything that we've seen coming out of Lucasfilm, why wouldn't they do that? I mean, they did that all through the sequels, didn't they? And there was something else that Stig and OG shared. There was an EU character that they brought into a comic book or something and sucked him out the airlock.
Dirge,
yeah, Dirge. They just disrespected another character. I must admit, I don't know the character. I'm sorry.
Because they had Afra beat her, apparently.
Yeah,
beat him just super.
They had to be Afra. Yeah.
Afra is like the ultimate like super villain, and all like she's better than everybody.
I find it funny that when we get into these conversations, we like lose a good chunk of the audience, and I feel like. And I don't have a problem with it. It's just something that I noticed that when we get into the talk about like, you know, what the fuck is Star Wars doing? You know, I don't see any of what any of the sources out there are saying to be true. People really get their back up about that shit. Fuck. Tell you what, can't have other opinions. Anyway, continue, Tim.
Yeah. Now, Jenkins spoke with the Associated Press where she revealed that Rogue Squadron is the next film she's working on and laid out her vision for the film. Jenkins said, I'm in love with all 3 projects on my plate right now. I'm definitely doing Rogue Squadron next, and I'm excited to do Wonder Woman 3. It's a franchise. And Cleopatra is coming along great as well. Oh, I don't even want to look into Cleopatra because I guarantee I know where they're going with that. She went on to detail. It's
going to be Gal Gadot being Cleopatra.
Yeah. She went on to detail what's influencing Rogue Squadron. I think the Michael Stackpole books and the video game and all of the Rogue Squadron books. So I retweeted Bounding into comics on this, saying all the Star Wars. You know, we talked about this on our stream. It was either on the Spacing or on Fallen Night. We talked about the interview with what's her name, Leslie Headland, and she had talked about, I read Heir to the Empire, you know, when I was in junior high. It's like they have a checklist that they give these people. You need to say these things, and then the hardcore fans will be like, "Yay, you know, she's a real fan." Well, I guarantee they said, "Make sure you say that you like the video game and Mike Stackpole's books," and that's what she did. But I guarantee if you ask them a specific question, they not even like a detailed lore question, but like, hey, remember in the books when this happened and it really wasn't something that happened? They'd go, oh, yeah, I remember that. It's like, guess what? It didn't happen. And then the look on their face.
Gotcha.
You know?
Well, yeah, these are made for public consumption. It's made as a press release. Like I've said it before, it's about as worthy as a post-game interview with the star of the game, right?
Yeah.
Where they just spout a bunch of stupid, meaningless cliches, the stuff that they're supposed to say. It's all rehearsed. It comes off rehearsed. It's not from a place, that's genuine at all.
Oh, and it's so good, Lady Toriel. Like, it's fresh because it's new characters, and you get like Luke for half of a page, you get Han for half of a page, and stuff like that. And you even get Leia in some of these like high-level council meetings, but it's all about new characters and fleshing out Wedge, and the story itself has like an epic scope. It's a great series. Like I've reread it twice, so I've read it like 3 times in my life. It's amazing stuff.
How much time does that series span over?
The book series,
yeah.
If you count all the way to the last book, because it jumps, it would be like 2 years after Return of the Jedi, and then the last book is like, I want to say like 9 years after, because in the last book is actually my favorite Star Wars book, period. Starfighters of Adamar. It's kind of like a Star Trek episode where Wedge and Wes and Hobby and Tycho were sent on this mission, kind of like a Star Trek mission, to this planet that the New Republic refound because the Old Republic had lost contact with this world, and they're kind of like atomic age, so they're not like space flight. And they need them though, because they have the ability to produce a shitload of missiles, and they're going to, see if they can use their factories to make proton torpedoes and shit. So they have to go there. And the reason they're sent is because that culture pretty much worships starfighter pilots. So that's why those guys get sent and not like a true ambassador. And there's comedic moments and like a conspiracy type thing, and it's just a great story. So yeah, and that happens like 9 years after when they're a little bit older and stuff. So, but yeah, the main core books, it's like less than 2 years that they take place.
Okay.
How can this fit in with these books fit in with the current canon?
It's just the name, man. It's just the
it's
name.
just the name. They're going to place it in a time period that probably is going to be different to when this was the book, the source material, and they'll just plonk it in somewhere and make their own story.
Yeah.
Their creative freedom, you know. You know what it'll be? It'll be their first mission is flying in and saving a child from some remnants of the Empire's prisons. And then that child is going to show signs of maybe being force sensitive, but he's going to be smart and fucking be able to do absolutely everything. And then there's going to be a bounty out on the kid, and Wedge is going to want to look after the kid and try and protect the kid. But he'll but he'll die in the process, and then and then the kid will get captured and be turned into Snoke somehow, just along with Omega and Baby Yoda. They're all going to come together, put their blood together in some way, and that's going to create Snoke.
Hopefully it's blood.
Well, the Flash will come in and spark up one of the mother boxes at the right time in the pool on one of the Kryptonian ships, and it'll create Snoke / Doomsday.
That's how the World Between Worlds got created.
Well, Philip Booty here, we've talked about this, Philip Booty, for $5. He goes, I reckon they nuked the EU so the writers didn't have to know the law. Absolutely. They didn't want to do the homework. I think that J.J. Abrams admitted that he didn't want to do any homework.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't want to work within the confines of it. They just wanted to steal the concepts.
They didn't want to be restricted to it.
It's fundamentally like it's not even like identity politics. It's just pure lazy.
Yeah.
It really just is pure lazy. But on the flip side of it, you got to remember, like, so if Wedge is going to be in this thing, right? And let's just assume for a second he will be. He's from the original trilogy, and so you got to tear him down. So what they're going to do is they're going to have Wedge, and he's going to be very battle hardened and fatigued, and like at the end, and have PTSD. And at the end of his rope, and he's going to accidentally shoot down a civilian freighter, which will make him a pariah, and then he'll be super guilty about it, and he'll get
you know what?
And then Admiral Holdo will show up and slap him and demote him.
She's dead.
No, not at this time.
I thought this happens after Rise of Skywalker.
Well, if it happens after, then it could be one of the.
But if it happens before...
It could be one of the girls that were kissing in the background at the end of Rise of Skywalker.
But look, if it happens before, it wouldn't actually surprise me if Holdo shows up in this. It wouldn't surprise me if... Okay, it would not surprise me if in this movie we see how Admiral Holdo gets a higher rank than... what's his name? Admiral Akbar.
No, I got it. The Holdo maneuver, hitting a ship that has hyperspace capabilities with a ship going in hyperspace, opens up a hole to the world between worlds. And Admiral Holdo actually she didn't die, she just jumped forward 15 years.
Just like with Ahsoka, yep.
Hashtag Doomcock was right.
But you know what they did to Wedge, right? Like in Disney continuity.
Didn't they make him go on a gaycation with somebody?
No. That's
who was that?
That was Porkins. That was something else.
Porkins. Okay.
That was Biggs, not Wedge. But
Biggs.
What they did, he's in the Cuck Wendig books. He's in the Cuck Wendig book. In the very beginning, I think he kind of drives the plot. He gets out.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
he gets captured. And if you guys don't know, in these books, he's married to that fat fighter pilot's mom. You know, the big fat guy that's in the Disney trilogy, Snap Wexley, I think his name
Oh
is.
yeah, that's
He's married to her mom,
yeah,
and he's a farmer.
yeah.
And they
That's
just
right.
totally cuck him out, and he wasn't the Wedge that was in Expanded Universe.
Yeah, you're absolutely
No,
right.
he just retired off somewhere to settle down.
Make room for the women. Yeah.
Snap Wexley. Yeah, God, I fucking. And
The
what
one
was
that
this
died that we
stupid
were all
fucking
the one that died that we
stupid
were supposed to
fucking
feel
robot's
for.
name? Bones or whatever. Oh, that's so fucking annoying.
No idea.
Yeah.
Oh God, like I tried to just like separate that out and just like mentally block it, but there's because I listened to the audiobook of it, so I can remember like it was just that character was so fucking annoying.
Anyway, there is an incredibly history. I think they meant to say incredible history that it's really important to honor, and yet it must be brought to a new age because we have to tell a new story with it. So there you go. That's one of the second or third clues in this article about what they're going to do. You got to read for the code words.
Yeah.
Along with all the stuff they're trying to say to bring in the old fans. She continued, and so you are trying to blend the best of everything and make it the great fighter pilot movie, which I've always wanted to make as well. It's a big brew of things you're trying to put together and still keep a very simple story. Well, here's the thing with these Disney movies, you either get something that's very simple, literally, that's so dumbed down it's ridiculous, or you get bullshit like they try to do with the Disney trilogy where no one knew what was going on. So they have all these complex explanations and references and convoluted gotchas and stuff like that. Those are the only two things you get with Disney Star Wars.
Just quickly, Bella, I think we might have a new guest in the chat. We've talked a lot about hyperspace. It's one of the things that triggers me a lot. Yeah, ridiculous.
Somebody pay Bello Triggerfish to come in here and trigger Rhino.
Yeah, and trigger me. Was that you, Blake, that paid him?
Good job. Welcome to the chat, Bello. We like you already.
Yep. Anyway.
Sorry, taking a drink.
Yeah, go on.
Not of alcohol. The director then stated, "You are trying to bring the best of yourself and use it to make something beautiful that honors the legacy before you. But of course, it's a huge amount of pressure. And Wonder Woman was a huge amount of pressure as well. So it's not a wholly new or totally new feeling to me. Definitely nerve-wracking."
I just haven't seen you in my chat. Maybe you have been here before. Sorry.
Do you want to listen to this? I don't know how.
Yeah. How long's it go for? A minute?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to share. Yep. I don't like how you can't share audio unless it's the whole screen. I think that's. Yay! Let's see here.
Wouldn't be flattered. Well, I appreciate everyone in the chat for being here.
Absolutely.
All three projects on the plate right now. I'm definitely doing Rogue Squadron next, and I'm excited to do Wonder Woman 3. And so, these are all, and Cleopatra is coming along great as well. And so we'll see how it works out. But, I may just never stop. I may just make movies back to back if they would let me. I would love it. So I think the Michael Stackpole books and the video game and all of the Rogue Squadron books, I think they all have
the Star Wars.
There's an incredible history that it's really important to honor. And
that's just what she said earlier.
And yet it must be brought to a new age because we have to tell a new story with it.
Oh,
you're kind of
that's it. That's one line in there. It's got to come to a new age.
New age.
And
what they said earlier. Yeah.
Star Wars is a timeless universe for us. As when we watch it as entertainment, it's timeless. To have to bring it into a new age, you got to be able to see yourself on screen or whatever the fuck So they've got Patty Jenkins making a movie. They've got fucking Leslie Headland making a series or a movie. What the fuck? And then you've got Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni that are going to do Ahsoka, the Book of Boba Fett. And who's doing the Obi-Wan series? I mean, the Obi-Wan series.
No, it was one of the directors that did some of the Mandalorian episodes.
Yeah, you're
Deborah
right.
Chow.
Michelle. Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep, that's it.
Deborah
that's it.
Chow.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, for a director, her episodes were not too bad in regards to the direction of like what we saw, I feel. And when you're handed a script and this is the way that it's done, well, this is the way that it's done. You got to go out there and basically direct it the way that it's written on the page.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, all 6 pages of it.
But I still do not trust anything that Disney does. You could get Steven Spielberg to come in and direct the next Star Wars movie. If you get somebody else, these people, these activists in the writing room to write the script and go, here, make this movie. You're not allowed to change a damn thing. Make exactly that. It's still going to be garbage.
Well,
Even if it is Steven Spielberg.
Here's where I'm automatically like negative about any of the process of these things.
Sorry,
when
just
you
quickly,
choose,
let me get to this just real quick because she's got to go. Lady Terry,
no,
$5. Yes, great stream. Have to go to work. Good journey, everyone. Thank you, Lady Terry, for your $5. I really appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. Go on.
Have fun at work, Lady Terry.
Yeah.
And Zachariah, hello.
No, when I see a studio announce a director before they have a script, automatically assume it's garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, look, I call me old school, old fashioned, but I think you should have a. Thank you. I wish I had one. It's a wonderful drink. I'm old fashioned. Yes, I think you should have a script and an idea for a story, and then hire the director that fits that whose style fits what you wrote. So not all directors are good at all type of movies.
No.
Like, I like Quentin Tarantino, but I wouldn't hire him for a romantic comedy.
No.
And I wouldn't hire him for Star Trek actually either. I don't care how much he says he's
because that was the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I think you should have the script, and then you look at the script and you go, okay, this is the type of movie that we're doing. Who's out there that's good at this type of storytelling? Who's the director that can bring this script onto the screen?
Well, see, that's the biggest
But instead
problem
we
at the
do this
moment.
we do this backwards thing where we hire a director to do a movie in a franchise or in a universe with no idea. Same thing with Headland, right? We're just going to bring you in, and we want you to do a Star Wars movie or a TV show. We want you to do something in this universe. Don't know what. Well, then how do you know she's the right person for it?
Yeah, exactly.
And I really think that having your directors be your writers just has not worked out very well.
Yeah.
In Hollywood, there's very, very few that can pull it off consistently.
Well, the reason why they announced that Rian Johnson got his trilogy before anyone even saw his fucking movie was because he was the yes man. He was the one that, Kathleen Kennedy knew that she could control, and Kathleen Kennedy knew that he was on her side of history and politics and all of this kind of shit. And she knew that, she could control that. So anyway, I don't know.
I think it could be she just he pitched his thing and she was like, really, that sounds really cool. Let's do that. I'm actually less on the hate Kathleen Kennedy bandwagon now than I was in the past, simply because I've stepped back and looked at it and gone like, isn't it convenient that everything we don't like, and by we, I'm going to say the community, right?
Yeah.
Anything we don't like is automatically her fault, and everything we like, she just conveniently has nothing to do with.
Yeah, and it's Jon Favreau that's done that,
or Dave Filoni,
or Dave Filoni,
or the directors who did Rogue One.
Yeah,
it's just really strange to me. If I don't like it, then it's her fault. If I do like it, then she must not have had anything to do with it. So on one hand, for one picture, she's the evil mastermind, and the other picture, she's the absent-minded, aloof studio head. And I just either maybe Kathleen Kennedy has multiple personality disorder, and that's really what's happening. But I kind of doubt it. Like, it just doesn't seem logical to me that, like, oh wow, everything I like, she just no, she had nothing to do with it, and like everything I don't like is like she was the one behind every single decision. It was her fault.
Yeah. Well, see, based on that logic, this is where I look at it and go, even if the rumors are true and she goes, she gets fired or she leaves, everybody thinks that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are the saviors of Star Wars. They're going to fix it. Well, from every evidence that I've seen, they've done nothing but do more damage and destroy it even more. So Kathleen Kennedy can go for all I care. It ain't going to change a damn thing when you've got people like Patty Jenkins and Leslie Headland. And what, you think that these people don't now have contracts in place that they're going to make these movies? So even if KK goes, these people are still going to make these garbage movies. You still got Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni making garbage Star
They'll just hand them
series.
a pile of money to leave, like they did Benioff and Weiss, and you know the original director for Solo and the original director for Rogue One.
Okay, so they get these people and they make them leave. Let's make a hypothetical here for a sec. I do want to hear the rest of this, but Kathleen Kennedy's gone. They pay out these fucking activist directors that Kathleen Kennedy pretty much hired and gets rid of them. Where do we go from there? So you've got the scripts being put in place. I think before Kathleen Kennedy goes, the Obi-Wan series is going to be done. And we're being told from many different sources that, there's going to be a fight or a duel between Obi-Wan and Anakin again. I don't know. It's just, it can all happen. I don't want it to go because I think that Star Wars is that fucked. I'll just keep reading the EU and everything else is just all garbage.
Yeah, and talking about the story group in the chat, like when it comes to these main movies, I don't think the story group has dick to say.
Nope.
Like, do you really think like Pablo Hidalgo was pushing Rian Johnson or J.J. Abrams around?
No way. Like they begged JJ to do the movie, so if what JJ wanted, JJ got. It didn't matter if like Hidalgo could have been jumping up and down and screaming about the canon and the lore, and it wouldn't have made a difference. Or he just could have been like, "Well, I see which way the wind's blowing. I'm just going to ride this. I'm just going to ride this wave."
Yeah.
Oh, God, don't even get me started, Bello, on that Atlantic article. The misinterpretation and the reading of that is just unbelievable.
Oh yeah, we went over that, I think, didn't we?
Yeah.
We were going to. We've gone over. I've bitched about it in private with you guys.
Yeah.
We'll go over it when we're ready to lose like another 10 viewers.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
In about an hour.
Just keep in mind that hit piece is, they can't frog march her, but then they write a hit piece about her at the same time.
Yeah. Go for it, Tim.
I'm just trying to make more funny faces here.
Yeah.
Here we go.
The best of everything and make it the great fighter pilot movie, which I've always wanted to make as well. And so, you're.
Hold on. With her haircut and the way looks like she's always sweating and stuff, she reminds you of one of those chubby little 12-year-old girls that are like running around on the grass at like a family reunion, and then she runs up for a cup of water from her parent or something.
And she drinks it so dramatically, the water.
Yeah.
It's
and
like,
it goes,
it's like she runs over. It's like,
I think it's the bangs that do it, but here we go.
It's a big brew of things that you're trying to put together and still keep a very simple story. You're trying to bring the best of yourself and use it to make something beautiful that honors the legacy before you. But of course, it's a huge amount of pressure, and Wonder Woman was a huge amount of pressure as well. So, it's not a totally new feeling to me, but yeah, definitely nerve-wracking.
Right, that's the exact person. That's the exact person that we want making Star Wars. Someone who's not confident and very nervous about the film that they're going to be making. That's perfect, Disney. Perfect.
Well, now what if she makes good Star Wars movies? Is it not going to be a Kathleen Kennedy hire? I just want to know.
Yeah, you got to wait until after it's out, man.
Because, again, I'm told that it's over. The war's been won, but then, okay, so then is this a Favreau production? This movie? I'm confused.
Yeah. But the thing is like she talks about like the pressure of having to do Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
That was received poorly, and didn't. Am I correct in saying
the second one?
84, yeah. But am I correct in saying that she attacked some of the fans for their criticisms? Am I right in saying that? Didn't no? I don't know.
I don't remember that specifically, but she's gonna have the Koof excuse on that one, so she's gonna get a pass.
Mm.
And that's just the reality of it. And the fact that it was delayed, it lost momentum, all that blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I think that she's gonna get an excuse. What?
I'm just laughing at the tweet I put in the private chat.
I'm just about to look at it.
Oh my gosh. Oh, no. It's like I predict that in 24 hours it will be dark outside.
I'm sorry. I can't share that.
No,
but that's can't. Fucking funny. Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
Anyway, great.
It's like referring talking to yourself about yourself in third person as well.
Mm-hmm.
That opening line. I love that. That's
just go look at the tweet.
Funny.
And if we start hearing your hysterical laughter, then we'll know.
I'm seeing the tweet. I mean,
he's just in shock.
I guess I'm just confused. I'm missing something. I'm like, what was right?
Yeah. Anyway,
oh my god!
To continue with the article, it is rather interesting that Jenkins is referencing the Stackpole books, given Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy previously claimed Star Wars did not have any source material to draw from in the past. That's the gift that keeps on giving right there, folks. Back in November 2019, Kennedy was asked about the Disney Star Wars sequel trilogy and whether the final installment was a particularly hard nut to crack. She responded, "Every one of these movies is a particularly hard nut to crack." Then they're not really particular, right? There's no source material. We don't have comic books. We don't have 800-page novels. We don't have anything other than passionate storytellers who get together and talk about what the next iteration might be, she concluded.
Yeah, we've heard this before. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, Jenkins is now incorporating an entire novel series into her vision for the Rogue Squadron film. Yeah, and that, again, it's the gift that keeps on giving. I don't know what point Kathleen Kennedy was trying to make there, but she had to be aware of all the stuff that's out there. So either she was willingly being an asshole by saying that they don't have them because in reality they don't count, they don't exist, or she really wasn't aware of them and she looks like a complete idiot. I don't think either of those are better than the other. So it's the gift that keeps on giving. And then you've had people try to say, well, you're just taking it out of context. That's not what she meant.
Well, it is exactly what she meant.
Yeah, it's exactly what she meant.
Even if you put that into context, it's exactly what she meant.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the funny thing that makes me think that she's a bit thick. She's a bit dumb. She had to know, like you sort of said, Tim. She had to know that she was going to get backlash for that.
Mm-hmm.
And if she didn't, she's dumb.
Yep.
She made the decision along with J.J. Abrams or Bob Iger or whoever else fucking did it to decanonize the EU, even though we've established that you cannot decanonize something that has been made canon. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
Anyway,
the
go on.
vision vision for the film is not just Jenkins, as it was recently revealed by the Hollywood Reporter that she is co-writing the script with Matthew Robinson. And that dude was announced, like they say here, a few days ago. Robinson directed and wrote The Invention of Lying back in 2009, and he most recently wrote the screenplay for Dora and the Lost City of Gold. Perfect for this universe, as well as 2020's Love and Monsters. Don't know what the hell that is. He's also currently working on Warner Brothers' remake of Little Shop of Horrors. IMDb also lists him as the screenplay writer for Live, Die, Repeat, but all indications at this time are that a sequel to Edge of Tomorrow is not in the cards. I don't know who the hell this guy is. I read the article announcing that, hey, he's going to be the writer, and I had never heard of him before.
Okay.
You guys?
No.
And as for how far they are into the script writing process, Jenkins said back in January, and keep in mind that's 6 months ago, we're very far into we're finishing the treatment basically, which is pretty big. What does she mean? Pretty big, like the treatment's big, or it's a big achievement? I have no idea. She elaborated. So it ends up being like where you're fairly close to a well-along screenplay by the time I'm done with the treatment in my process. What the fuck? So yeah, we've been working on it for a while. It's going great. I'm super excited about it. I'm super excited about the story. Mm-hmm. What do you make of blah, blah, blah? So yeah, that's the story. There's no telling.
I don't care.
You had your finger on the button.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
I have no idea. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see as news comes out, like what are they trying to do here? But it's going to be bastardization.
Oh,
there's going to be member berries, and it's going to be woke. You know, Stieg actually never read the X-Wing series, and he tweeted out a picture this morning showing the Dramatis Personae, and he's like, "Wow, look, it's diverse, right? Mm-hmm. Not just with the aliens, but I think a good portion of the squadron 2 years after Return of the Jedi were human females." So, you know, they keep on acting like they're inventing diversity when it's been here all along.
All along. Yeah. Well, that's pretty much the Rogue Squadron stuff. I think we all foresee them bastardizing the series, bastardizing the characters. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're still yet to see it, so we can't say that with any great certainty that that's what's going to happen. But from what we've seen and from what's important to Disney, how can it not? Like
boundary pushing in New Age. Boundary pushing in New Age. That's what that's what she said.
Yeah. And you know, it's got to be what did she say? It's got to be reinvented or whatever she said.
Yeah.
It's got to evolve. I don't know. However she said it.
Yeah.
It's stupid to think that Star Wars needs to do that. Star Wars,
it's timeless.
I don't know. It is timeless. And something actually that I didn't even put in the title, which I probably should have, which I really want to talk about really, really quickly before we do move into Loki and the Bad Batch, is Slave One.
Mm-hmm.
Slave One.
Oh, man.
I think anyone who's a Star Wars fan or anyone who even knows what's going on with Star Wars right now knows this story. And of course, I did my video on it. Heaps of people did their videos on it. The thing that annoys me, and I put this out on Twitter too, is like, okay, so if I sit here and I go, okay, so here's Disney again destroying the law and all of this kind of stuff, and I'm hating what they're doing, and I'm voicing that I'm hating what they're doing. Does that then, to all these SJWs out there that think that they've done the right thing, think that I agree with slavery or like that I support slavery in some way, shape, or form? Like the goddamn ship.
Mm-hmm.
It's been structured. It's been that way since the word go. Now, the thing is you don't you don't hear them ever mentioning Slave One in the movies, calling it actually Slave One, right? But to completely take that name away from the toys, the Legos, the whatever, it's so pathetic.
Are they going to stop selling reprints of the novels that have it in there? You know,
well, that's another thing too. Is like they actually hear it named in a few novels. I'm pretty sure. What are they just going to go and rewrite those? You know, slave Leia outfit. Anakin Skywalker was a goddamn slave.
That's the trump card there.
This is the thing. Slavery in this universe is a thing. Now, just because slavery in this universe is a thing doesn't necessarily mean that Slave One, it's a name of a ship. So what if Anakin's Jedi cruise, what if Anakin's Jedi starship, you know, the one that he lands with R4 in it, that fucking ship, what if that was called, what if that was called the N-word? I know, now I'm getting real, I'm going, well, but what if it was called the N-word 1? Right? I mean, that's probably a bad example. A really bad example. You get where I'm trying to go with it.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
No, but Anakin's the trump card because, you know, here you have a white kid that has a line saying he's a slave multiple times. Are they going to go back and change that?
Thank you.
I absolutely believe they will. I absolutely believe they will find a way to edit the Phantom Menace to take those lines out. They've done it with other movies, guys. Or else put a warning at the beginning like they did with Gone with the Wind, you know?
But even those warnings are just stupid. They really are fucking stupid. Oh, if you watch this, you might get, you know,
trigger warning.
There's a trigger warning here. Fuck. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because we didn't bring it up last week. It obviously happened this week, and you know, even what's his name, Mark? Is it Mark? The guy that played him in the special editions. I think we all saw that video where he came out and, you know, he goes, my ship has always been called this and always will be. You asked me for my opinion and I gave you my genuine opinion. If you don't like that opinion, well, fuck off. It's as simple as that, right? But thank you for bringing that up.
I made this the day all this came out, and, you know, I had heard that a source told me they reversed course and said, hey, slave is not good, but we can call it the Uyghur 1. And of course they had to think, just like they did in which movie was it? Mulan. Thanks to the publicity department of CPC, Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region Committee. So as long as you have that on there, it's okay to use slave labor and to name stuff after slaves.
There's a good example.
It's the Disney way.
There's a good example, E. Clay Thompson. Are they going to change Jedi Master to Jedi Main? You know, Master can be problematic. You know, it's such a ridiculous concept. It's almost as ridiculous as being able to say that I'm fucking 60 years old if I want to. That's how I identify, or that I'm fucking German, or whatever I want to be. It's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And again, it's just, this is the thing, is it's such an obvious virtue signal, but what are they even like? Did anybody even come out and go, I've got a problem with the name of this ship before they actually made the decision, or are they getting on top of it before the problems arise? Is that what they're trying to do here?
Well, it probably came up in the rotation, like, hey, we need to make this, and then they never noticed, oh shit, the name of this is this. We better get approval. So they started asking around, and then someone made the decision that no, we can't have a toy with that name on there. That's my guess as to how it happened. It wasn't visible, I guess, until they decided they needed to have a Boba Fett toy for the show and all that shit coming up.
Well, it's actually funny that you bring that up, and I brought up this point in my my video about it. Is John Favreau's come out and said, you got to respect, I didn't create Star Wars. You got to respect what came before and all of this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I saw that video. Yeah.
He's going to be intimately involved with the Book of Boba Fett series, and they've just changed the name of his ship, and he's still going to make it. He said, if the fans don't like it, I don't think I could continue doing this unless the paycheck's big enough, right? It's just so fucked. Everybody out, fucking John Favreau. Oh, he's so respectful to Star Wars. He's so respectful to George Lucas. You want to suck my left nut this time?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you talk about being naive isn't the right word. Ignorant is the right word. There are so many Star Wars fans out there that are just being completely ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Luke Skywalker, that's being ignorant. Tracking fobs. Yeah. But Luke Skywalker. Fucking, I don't know. John Favreau, you said that you were going to respect Star Wars. You said that you were going to respect George Lucas and his creation, and that if the fans aren't liking what you're doing, you don't think that you could continue doing it. Well, guess what? Disney has made the decision for you that fucking the next series that you're going to be working on, they've already changed the law. They don't even need to do any more damage. The damage is done from, they haven't even fucking started it. But no, it's okay because John Favreau and Dave Filoni, right? Anyway, it's just so frustrating. I want Star Wars to be good, just as any other Star Wars fan out there wants it to be good, right? But to say that The Mandalorian is good Star Wars when I can blatantly, factually show how they're doing damage, and you guys out there, not everybody, but there are people out there that say, oh, but they're doing it right. It feels like Star Wars. Luke Skywalker moment. Like, man, how many dicks do you have in your mouth at the same time?
Well, let's pretend for a minute Mandalorian's good. Let's pretend for a minute Rogue One's good, right? Think about it this way. Let's say that Disney Star Wars is a 747 airplane. Okay? And the airplane itself is not in good shape, and it may be going down, but then someone goes back and to the back of the airplane and they say, hey, look, this bathroom is really nice. It's clean. It's comfortable and all that. So that I like it. I like this bathroom, and I'm going to praise this bathroom because it's nice and they've done a good job with the bathroom. But guess what? The ship's still going down. And then you look out the window off the port side, and you're like, man, this engine's running really fucking good. But guess what? The other three engines are not. And the airplane's still going down. That's the way to think about it. They're using anything that sells, anything that you like, and I'm doing the air quotes here, buying Baby Yoda merchandise and liking Luke Skywalker and all that shit. They're using that success to fund the stuff that no one likes, like High Republic, like what they're probably going to do with this Rogue Squadron stuff.
But that's Kathleen Kennedy faction, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, of course. There's
Like-
two different flight crews on the same 747.
That whole thing is so ridiculous. Like
Mhm.
it's just ridiculous. What's happened to the factions that doesn't exist anymore? Like we've now moved on because Kathleen Kennedy's out the door. Man, it just makes me sick.
Well, yeah, and to finish out the analogy, no matter how much you praise the nice bathroom, restroom on the airplane, no matter how much you say that one engine that's running is good, it's not going to save the whole ship. It just isn't.
Okay, I just want to reference this because we've talked about this. So obviously there were a lot of fans that got quite emotional about seeing Luke Skywalker. I don't know this, right? But again, you remove the music from that scene, it takes away a lot of the emotion, right? And when you actually just watch it, and I feel like a lot of the emotions for a lot of fans came from a place where they've been pissed off and they've been asking for Disney to do better with Lucasfilm, and this was technically what we probably should have seen in the actual movies. So when you actually saw that in that first opening moment, you got an emotional experience from seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm with you. I didn't cry, right? I didn't cry at all in that scene. I actually sat there and I was giggling. Actually, I was kind of sitting there just going like that because I saw right through it from the very beginning. And then, the savior of Star Wars, this is what we should have seen. Yeah, maybe it was what we should have seen. And actually, it is exactly what we should have seen. But real Luke Skywalker, not this CGI, piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and I've said it. If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. If you like what they're doing, more power to you. Like it. I don't really care. I've got the expanded universe, which is real Star Wars. But to think that John and Dave are going to save it, again, like I said earlier in the stream, take Kathleen Kennedy completely out of the equation. Nothing changes. You know what needs to happen for there to be any chance of Star Wars to survive? Disney need to sell it to someone else that's actually going to honor it. Then they decanonize everything that Disney did. Then they do like the Heir to the Empire. They do the sequel trilogy as like an animated show because they can't get the original cast back together. But they honor the source material and they honor the story and they honor what George Lucas wanted. Mm-hmm. Right? He said, we've seen the interviews. He said he handed a treasure trove of stories over to Kathleen Kennedy. He had treatments for 7, 8, and 9 that they didn't use. And he felt betrayed by Bob Iger and Disney and Kathleen Kennedy and J.J. Abrams. What more evidence do you need that what they're doing to Star Wars is not Star Wars? He came out and said that he fucking sold it to white slavers. And as much as he might regret saying that and he had to pull it back and he whatever, right? Internet's forever. That's how George really feels about Star Wars.
Yep.
Yeah, I mentioned Star Wars Theory crying like a baby during it. I know Lethal's a big one that actually thinks that he put a little bit of mayonnaise on it. Did it put a little bit more on it for the camera?
Mm-hmm.
Again, you watch entertainment and you watch this as art to get an emotional reaction from it. When everybody found out, or when in Empire, when Vader says, "I am your father," right? That created an emotional reaction in every single person that watched it. Right? It's designed to do that. But I feel like the emotional reaction to the Luke Skywalker moment, right? And first of all, it doesn't justify the damage that series does, which, I've heard some people out there saying, as long as there's an emotional payoff, lore and continuity don't matter. Retarded takes on this stuff. And, I can come out and I can go, okay, so they did this in the sequels, and look at this. I'm showing you in The Mandalorian, they did exactly the same thing. They destroyed this part of the lore in exactly the same way that they did in the sequels. But the one thing they didn't do is they didn't destroy the characters. They didn't destroy they didn't destroy the characters in any way, and they didn't develop them in any way. Right? The new ones that they brought in and the ones that they did bring in, they developed them differently between season 1 and season 2. There's no continuity between them. But, it's okay because Luke Skywalker, Ahsoka, fucking Bo-Katan, fucking, give me some more grapes to dangle in front of my face. They jangle the keys as much as you possibly can. I just don't buy it. And I don't buy that Kathleen Kennedy's even going. But if she does go, great. What's that going to do? You look at what Disney's doing to the MCU in some parts of the MCU, and it's becoming the MCU, right? You don't think these things are important enough that even if Kathleen Kennedy goes, it's going to maintain its course? Got rocks in your head. Anyway, let's go to... Why am I so negative? It's like I said, I want to love Star Wars, but what I'm seeing isn't Star Wars. So how can I not be negative when something that I love so much is being destroyed in nearly every avenue? I mean, even the Bad Batch is, why the Bad Batch is such garbage storytelling? Because it's the exact same story as The Mandalorian, just in a different setting. Exactly the same story.
Yeah, you're right.
How am I supposed to be excited for that?
Blake, is that a Loki segue?
Yeah, it might be actually, because I don't really want to talk about Star Wars anymore. Let's do that, actually. Let's get into Loki, because this is one thing where I will say when I first started watching this series, I didn't like it. It came across that they were actually doing damage. Now, depending on how this ends, it might still maintain the fact that they've actually done damage to the MCU that they created, for the 10 years that they went for. But if it goes in a different direction, well, then it sort of retcons the explanation that they gave, sort of like that intentional retcon. It set up the mystery and then they've paid it off properly. So you never really know with this. Let me share my screen. Okay. I think just before this is only the recap. Oh no, there is a little bit. Okay. So this episode 4. So if you don't know, there's only 6 episodes in the Loki series, all up. The series, this episode, it starts off actually showing Sylvie's universe, and they come in, and it's the main chick that's running the TVA at the moment, that's actually a soldier at this time, and going out and getting the kids. They pick up the kid, they take her off because she's the variant, and then they reset the timeline, and all the toys and everything disappear. Now, I made a point in my thing that she actually, while she was playing with these toys, she made like one team attack the other team, but it was supposed to be the other way around. So just in her play, created a Nexus event. Hence why the episode is actually called Nexus Event, by the way. So they take it back, and she goes through sort of that same process that Loki went through when she got there, and then she escapes, and she's sort of dreaming or remembering what happened. And then she goes to see the timekeepers. There they are there, and you get the intro crawl. So they're trying to figure out how I think it's explained here, but I think I may have missed it. But I think the timekeepers, because if you remember, Sylvie sent out all the time things to reset the timelines in all different areas, and that sent off all the offshoots. All the Nexus events went crazy. So I think the timekeepers have just reset everything. I don't know. The reason why I'm saying that is because when you see the timeline in this, there's no Nexus events happening. The sacred timeline is come back to normal. So I don't know, again, if that was actually explained and if I missed it or what's going on. It cuts then to here. I originally thought that from the trailer that this was Black Widow, but it's obviously not. It is Sylvie. They have a conversation while they're sitting here. And this is where, for me, it just gets a little weird because they end up falling in love with each other. And in that moment of that, see if I can show it. Hang on. Let me just see if... There it is. So when Sylvie sent off all the things, you had all these offshoots coming off the main timeline here. And then you look at it here and it's all fine again. So I don't know, again, where in the story they explain that. I might go back and rewatch it to see if they actually did explain that. But I didn't hear it if they did. Now, as they're watching this to try and find these two variants that are sitting here, they're still having their little conversation. And they see... like they start touching hands or something, and they start seeing this Nexus event coming off here, all because they're holding hands and he's like fallen for her, which means that he's fallen for himself, but just as a woman. And then he asks, have you ever seen a Nexus event like that before, or a line like that before? And she's like, never. So in something that they've done, like in their emotions towards each other or something, has created this weird Nexus event that none of them have ever seen before. So they send the doors to them and they get them back here. He sends him into a time loop where he gets beaten up by, what's her name, from Thor, for cutting her hair, and it just keeps happening over and over and over again. Let's move forward a bit. Let's take a bit of a jump. We get to see a bit more of... Oh, no, that's... Oh, why did it jump back like that? It did, didn't it? Okay, so they start talking, and basically Loki says that the TVA is lying to everyone, and because they're all variants and they don't know it, they think that the TVA created them. And at first, he doesn't believe him. He sends him in there, and he wants to go and speak to Sylvie. Now, the main chick that's running the TVA doesn't want him talking with Sylvie, right, for some reason. But he also wants to talk to the girl that she brainwashed, that she that's how she figured out how to get to the timekeepers, using that, one of the people from the TVA. And she starts saying that her mind wasn't right. She couldn't form words by the time that she got back here, and she's dead, which later on we find out isn't the case. She knows something's going on because she got accessed by Sylvie and obviously accessed some of her memories before the TVA. So she's starting to get a little bit confused in regards to what's going on. She goes in there and she goes, follow me, and they go off somewhere. Or they go off to where the storm was. She's saying case closed. He's still asking a lot of questions because after talking to Loki and everything, he is a little bit curious in regards to why or what the TVA really is, because things are starting to come together for him, or there's a clearer picture for him. Now, she keeps she asks him in this conversation here, if you could go anywhere on the timeline, where would you go? And he's like, well, I can't do that. And she explains where she would go and all of this kind of stuff. And that becomes relevant a bit later on. He goes back. He talks to Loki some more. And there is the bit in here where he finds out that Loki's fallen in love with Sylvie or something. And Loki's trying to play it off. And he's like a little bit disgusted by it and baiting him a little bit. Why does it keep jumping back like that every time? Okay. So this is where they end up, back at the place where she originally sent off the bomb into the timeline. And she's like, show me. She touches her and she sees everything. She wakes up from it and she goes, I was happy. Now, while he was talking to the main chick running the TVA, he swapped those pad things that they've got so he could see or access her one. And while he does that, he sees her file. So she's basically in like an interrogation sort of thing, explaining how the TVA is lying. She was a person before this, all of that sort of thing, and that she's a variant. So that confirms everything for what's his name? I'm blanking on his name. Morbius. Anyway, he goes off and he basically decides to help Loki. Now, as they come back through, they're waiting for them. So she's realized that they swapped pads, or he swapped pads, and then they're just standing there, and it's sort of like this somber moment. And he then arcs up and says, you know where I would go if I could go anywhere on the timeline? Wherever I came from. And then she obviously realizes that he's realized that he is just a variant and not created by the TVA. So they eliminate him. And he's like, maybe I had a jet ski. And just melt him. There he goes. So then she gets Sylvie and Loki together to go and visit the actual timekeepers. And this is where I started to get a little bit intrigued, because I wanted to see what the timekeepers would say. Now, if you watch the episode, you know that the timekeepers, they were a little bit harder to understand. You might have had to watch it with subtitles on, but there's not really too much that takes place. It's almost, that conversation is almost completely irrelevant. They end up having a fight with all of these guys. They end up killing one of the timekeepers, and it turns out that he's just an android. There's his head there. So the timekeepers aren't really running the show. I actually think that the main chick there, she's running the show, and she's putting on this ploy. I don't know who she is or what she is. Anybody thinking Mephisto, maybe? Anyone watching it possibly think that she could be Mephisto? I don't know. Anyway, they start to have this really he's realized that he's like fallen in love with her. He's about to say something to her or about to tell her that. And she basically gets rid of him. So Sylvie ends up winning, and she wants her to kill her, I think. And she's like, nah, you're going to be useful to me. So she's going to get all the information, and that's where the episode ends. Now, there is the end credit scene as well, which is just here. So Loki just wakes up and pretty much sits up and sees, obviously, a whole different variant, or all different variants. So I don't know, is that Thor? because he's got a Thor type hammer, or is that just a variant of Loki? Because that's a variant of Loki, that's a variant of Loki, and that's a variant of Loki.
Wow.
So you would assume that that's a variant of Loki, but he's got Thor's hammer, or at least it looks like Mjolnir in some way, shape, or form. So this made it very interesting for me. I don't think that the explanation that they gave for what the Avengers did was legitimate, because they're not the real timekeepers. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. And this is where I'm sort of saying, I don't know. I'm not going to know until the series ends where this is actually gone. So we've got 2 more episodes to go. So they're all Lokis. Now, there are many people in the chat. Just one in the chat, if you have read like the comic books that revolve around this story. Like, is this a story that they're adapting? Does anybody know? Because I read through the Marvel Encyclopedia and go to the Loki section, and it doesn't mention anything about the timekeepers or going through this sort of story. So I'm curious to know if this is just a story that they've made up by using some source material. I'm not too sure. Got to go, Metalong. Thank you. Take care of yourself, mate. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate it.
See you later.
So yeah, that's pretty much where it ended. So again, it's got me a little bit intrigued because the timekeepers aren't real. Whereas the timekeepers are actually real, but in the real story, but I don't know. Maybe it's a new timeline. Yeah, see, that's where it gets dangerous. But anyway, that's pretty much Loki. If anyone in the chat actually watched it and enjoyed it, I don't know. Let me know. Let me know what you guys are thinking about this series if you are watching it. Based on everything I've said, you guys got any comment? I know you're not watching it, so I know it makes it a bit hard for you to comment on the...
Watching it.
What's that?
It's difficult to comment on when we're not.
Yeah.
I mean, my level of interest in the show is pretty much near zero. So,
Yeah, with MCU stuff, I said after Endgame, I'm done, and I've stuck to that.
I mean, there's 2 episodes left now?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Do you think there's going to be a payoff?
This is the thing. They can actually pay this series off. Do I think that they will? No. Everything that I've got to base it on, absolutely not. Oh, maybe it is Kang the Conqueror. I just saw that comment and it just made me think.
I've heard that rumor, in the past.
But does that mean that they've sex changed Kang the Conqueror? Because that main chick that's if they do that, well, then it's done. It's done for me.
Done so.
It's 100% becoming the MCU, and it's all become a thing to have your strong female characters in there. And again, I don't have a problem with strong female characters, but when it's being pushed for identity politics purposes, as opposed to actually and sacrificing the story, and opposed to telling the story, that's where I have a problem with it. E. Clay Thompson says it's okay. This has a second season, does it? To me, I don't even know why they're doing that. Like, why not just have one season go for 12 episodes?
Yeah, no shit.
Like, honestly, this ain't a season of Loki. 6 episodes isn't a season. It's a movie that's been adapted.
It's a mini series at best. And that's at best. So,
yeah. Well, look. Yeah, go on.
I don't think. Well, I mean, they could. I mean, they can literally do whatever they want, but I I think they're really going to have to. They're about. I think they're about to hit a point coming very soon where they're going to go, ooh, we might have to reevaluate some things now because this movie didn't perform.
Mm.
And that would be the Black Widow movie.
wait for Thor: Love and Thunder.
Well, yeah, and I really don't think these shows are like, my gut feel is none of these Disney Plus shows are performing anywhere near what they thought they were going to.
Wait for What If.
Way. Well, you saw
my gut feel.
You saw the ratings drop for Loki, and I think after seeing this most recent episode,
there's no ratings for Loki though.
I think it's better than the Bad Batch. This last episode was anyway.
But is there really any ratings to go by?
Well, no, but I just heard that I don't know. I think it was on one of Ryan's videos or something. 160,000 people dropped off in a week.
Yeah, and that might be based on Nielsen's, which like I don't buy their reporting when it comes to streaming platforms like at all. I think their numbers were much more in line, or at least more consistently. Like if they were broken, they were consistently broken across all regular TV, and I think streaming is just too. Like I don't think their prediction models work with streaming. And again, this is information that if like I really have to wonder because like if let's say like 30 million people were tuning in to watch these series, like you'd be damn sure that they would be putting that in commercials, right?
Oh yeah.
Or even 10 million. If 10 million viewers are watching in like the first week or whatever, like I think they'd be bragging about it, and I just don't. I don't think the numbers are there, and to be honest, like I don't think the numbers are there like across most of the streaming platforms, and that's why I've advocated that there needs to be some transparency for investors to evaluate the actual performance of these shows and of these studio heads that are spending billions of dollars producing, new content for their platforms. It really just seems like a big giant slush fund to me.
Well, see, this point here that Cellshade's making sort of goes back to a point that you made once, Greg, in regards to Disney Plus cancelling a show and then people complaining that they're cancelling it, but they don't cancel their membership. So why would they keep pouring money into, or even Netflix, for example, pouring money into a show when, and if they cancel it, you're still going to pay your subscription?
Yeah, like why would you invest the money in something if it's not going to, like, it doesn't retain your audience whether you keep it or not?
Yeah.
So if let's say 9 out of 10 people subscribed to Disney Plus are in it for the Marvel stuff and they cancel all the Marvel stuff that's on Disney Plus, the amount of money they're spending versus that little dip, like it's still probably the better business move to get rid of it all. So there's no meritocracy now in streaming because we don't know the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Because they won't release those numbers. Like, within the company, there might be a meritocracy, but like, I that's putting a lot of faith into Hollywood system that has never really been that way. So I kind of doubt it. I like the old model. Like, I know people hate advertising and everything, but at least then when it's like public, because they would have to make those numbers available for advertisers. Under the penalty that they would be committing fraud if they gave them bogus numbers. They had to say like, hey, advertise on our show. It has this many million eyeballs on it that'll see your advertisement. Well, and so there was a little bit of honesty there.
It's funny just talking about like the ratings and stuff like that. I mean, I don't have obviously a massive reach in regards to audience or anything like that. I appreciate all of you being here. But like my video, for example, I think there was like 3 or 4 different people in the comments saying how Marvel fans are really happy. This ain't Star Wars, buddy. Right? Like, you know, no need to hate on everything that did. You're just a typical SJW Disney hater sort of thing. It was like basically what a lot of these comments were coming across as. Now, from what I'm hearing, a lot of people aren't actually enjoying it. You know, I mean, yes, there are people that are sitting there and enjoying it. I've spoken to my cousin. He's one that is actually enjoying the Loki series. And again, that's cool. I don't know if he liked WandaVision. I don't know if he liked Falcon and Winter Soldier. I talked to my sister, who's a complete normie when it comes to comic book movies and all of this kind of stuff. She loved what they did with the MCU in regards to like the 10 years of movies. And she, you know, that got her interest in these comic book characters. So she watched WandaVision and she thought that was okay. She didn't watch Falcon and Winter Soldier at all because she said that she just wasn't interested. And she said that Loki is just boring to her. And that's coming from a normie standpoint. Now, again, if you're not deep into the lore of these things, you're not going to know a lot of timekeepers and things like that. And I'm not saying that I know absolutely everything because I sure don't. But you know, I don't see where they're getting this audience from, and I don't see a lot of people liking it. There are other people out there that do, but I just don't see a lot.
I mean, there might be, but I don't know. Like, is this really the time of the year that like you put out your hottest content as well?
Yeah,
like it's July. Like no network. Why is there no new programming in the summer on regular TV?
Because people are out gallivanting.
Yeah, because people aren't watching TV so much in the middle of the summer. They're out enjoying their summers, right?
Yep.
So I'm always like the fact that they're airing this during the middle of summer also makes me a little bit suspect.
Look at the look on Reiner's face saying, "Oh fuck, it's winter where I live."
You know? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that
it's fucking cold, man. It's fucking cold.
Yeah. What temperature is it?
We just see chicks walking around with bikini
it's actually not a bad day today. It's just really overcast. I'll tell you what the temperature is right now. It is.
Tell me in real numbers.
And Celsius.
Give it to you in Fahrenheit. It is 54 degrees.
Wow, that's not bad at all for winter.
That's a beautiful night.
So it's 12 degrees Celsius.
Now where Greg and I live in the middle of the day in winter, it's probably 30 or 20 something.
In the middle of winter, 0 degrees Celsius is like, hey, it ain't so bad out today.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually a nice day. I got the heater. The problem with this, well, like my setup right now, is like I've got the heater and the heater's like right there. So like, and being that I'm upstairs and the thermostat's downstairs, it gets hotter up here. So I get a bit uncomfortable sometimes with the heater going. Such prefer summer. The legend known as Jock Nerdy and his Spartan Rage comes in and says, if you're offended, fuck off. Thank you, Jock Nerdy, for $50. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. That was through Streamlabs. And we have Eclay Thompson with a super sticker for $2. Can you guys help me, please? Have you got the stream up at all?
Just a red thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Thank you, Eclay Thompson. Thank you very much. Appreciate all of you. That's pretty much it. Oh, look, I was going to go into the Bad Batch, but honestly, the Bad Batch was just Omega getting away from her bounty hunter, getting away from Cad Bane, and outsmarting his droid.
Didn't we already do that one?
No, because it
at the end of the last episode, Cad Bane just
Cad Bane
captured
had
her.
just captured her.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Yeah, so this is basically the episode is called Bounty Lost, and it's exactly that. Omega just outsmarts essentially two bounty hunters because Fennec Shan shows up and she wants to protect the bounty because she's been hired by Lama Singh or whatever the fuck her name is at So basically, you've got one bounty hunter sending out. So the Prime Minister guy, sending out Cad Bane to bring her back, to extract her blood, and then destroy her, right? Whereas the other Kaminoan chick that's there, she wants to protect her, so she sends Fennec Shan out so that she makes sure that Cad Bane doesn't get her back there, and she either takes her and protects her, or just makes sure that she stays with the Bad Batch at the end.
Now, so have we gotten an explanation yet as to like why they need her blood?
No. Oh, yes. No. The explanation, yes. Sorry. The explanation, and it's explained in this episode, is that she is a Generation 1, a direct replica. Like her DNA is the exact DNA of Jango Fett.
Yeah, no, it's not. Because she's a girl. But beyond that, like, so are we to believe then, because I'm just really curious about this cloning thing. So if you're a Generation 2 clone, you're a clone of a clone?
Well, see, no, I don't think that's how it works. I think it's kind of like how it works in Jurassic Park. You know, they fill in the blanks with frog blood.
But they have Jango Fett's entire DNA sequence. Why do they need her blood at all? Because if it's something that wears out, then why would you kill her instead of keeping her alive so you can tap her blood again later? Like, I guess I just don't understand like how you would need her blood to make more clones when you have clones. And the idea is like if they're a further generation, then their DNA is somehow degraded. That would mean that they're cloning clones. Why? Like you had Jango Fett's blood. Like you're not cloning from his like sperm cells. You're like you're. That's not how cloning works. There's not like that's not what you're doing. Like you're copying the exact genetic sequence. So in order to do that, you would have the genetic sequence. Like was it on a hard drive that they lost? Did they get like did what's his name, Jeff Goldblum from Independence Day, like go in there and like give them a virus or something that now they don't have Jango Fett's DNA sequence? Like I just don't like that whole thing doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Well,
and I don't get it.
No, I don't get it either. But the thing, like this whole thing, her getting away. Now, I had people in the comments of this review saying, "Oh, how dare a girl who grew up on a Kaminoan planet with Kaminoan technology everywhere know how to use Kaminoan technology?" Well, okay, fair point. I'm sure there's stuff that she observed that she knew how to use and all of that kind of thing. But she pretty much uses and is able to do everything. She's got to find a massive power surge so that the Bad Batch guys can find her. So she essentially turns on the cloning facility.
Yeah, she's got like an expert's level of knowledge of like all the operational systems in the city.
All of this.
Yeah, I find that a little. I find that a little hard to believe.
She makes the radar or the thing come out. Like, yep, I'll activate that and just send out the signal. Oh, we found her. Let's go get her. It honestly, guys, it's.
Yeah, I'm still stuck on the whole why they need her blood in the first place. That's just not like.
Turn your brain off.
But it's also, like I said, it's exactly the Mandalorian.
Like
they needed Baby Yoda's blood for something. You know.
You had Jango's blood because you made like a gazillion clones already. Like Like, why are you? The genetic difference between a generation 1 and a generation 90 billion should be like almost nothing, because you're not cloning the clones and cloning the clone of the clone and cloning the clone of the clone of the clone. That'd be really retarded when you still have the original material. And if you somehow run out of the original material, then why would you advocate for taking a vial of her blood and then killing her? Because that would mean that once that's out, you're back to square one again, and you have no ability to make clones.
What is the name of this episode?
Lost Bounty. Bounty Lost.
Okay, that's what I'm looking at on Wikipedia right now.
And then it ends with pretty much like a little father-daughter chat at the end. You know, I don't know how many times she can say, "You're gonna, die and you're gonna leave me," and I don't know how many times he can say, "We're not going anywhere, kid. We are with us all the way. We were with you till the end of the line," or however the fuck they want to say it. Like every episode, it ends with this.
It's
Babysitting
it's like the end of a Full House episode where it's like, after the lecture, they all hug at the end of the bed in the bedroom, and like the sweet music carries you to credits.
So ridiculous. So, I mean, this is a longer series. I think it's 16 episodes. So they've still got a lot more story to tell. Obviously, they're going to have Crosshair show up. I reckon, what's his name's coming back from the beginning of this series? Caleb Doom or Kanan Jarrus, depending on how you want to... that he'll show up and there'll be something where they'll want to protect him, but they'll be the ones that lead Crosshair to him or something. We'll see what happens. Well, we might actually get hit. We might actually get to see the moment where he starts turning to the dark side. Where all his regrets come from in thing. But anyway, go on. What were you going to say?
Well, I think the way that the story should end is pretty obvious, and that is in order to forever hide Omega from the people hunting her is to just flip her chromosome and turn her into Ezra.
Yeah.
Because that's all it takes to just flip a chromosome, and then it's like boop, female.
I don't know where
Don't know. I really want to know how they're going to take a female who is XX chromosomes and clone using her DNA material an XY boy, when the Y chromosome contains only about 5% of the same genetic code as the X. The X and Y are very, very different. They have completely different genetic sequences on them. Like I don't. But hey.
Yeah.
Don't think about it. We just needed her. We needed to make her the key to everything, and we'll just it's her blood, just like Baby Yoda. You're right there, Rhino.
Star Wars.
He's defeated.
I really am. Like I don't look forward to watching the Bad Batch. I will say that. I don't look forward to watching The Mandalorian. But I don't see how anyone can look forward at Star Wars and go, I'm excited for this. Like Obi-Wan. If out of everything that they've announced, if there was one thing that I would really be interested in seeing, would be an Obi-Wan show, right? It would be awesome to see. And it would be
that's going to be a train wreck, though, buddy. I'm sorry.
It is.
I mean, it's going to be chock full of member berries. We know that, because it's going to be like, oh, it's Ewan McGregor, it's Obi-Wan, yay!
Mm-hmm.
Beyond that, I'd just like to point out that this is one half of the brainchild of those who wish to save pop culture think that should be in charge. It's just You think that a Kathleen Kennedy exit is going to change anything? Like, one of the guys you're rooting for makes this show.
They killed Ton Wei in this episode?
Yeah, they did. That's right. That's
So
another thing that they
fucking
did.
stupid.
So they killed another sort of. I know it's a very minor character, but they did kill an OG or a prequel character.
Yeah, she was alive like 40 years after Return of the Jedi, and Boba Fett tracks her down because she's the only one from that period still alive that would help cure his cancer and stuff. Just whatever they fucking do is, it's garbage.
Well, they've got to destroy now the old to bring in the new. It's not a matter of honoring the old to bring in the new. They've got to destroy. They've got to actually destroy it, like legitimately destroy it. Star Wars is in such a bad place, and it ain't coming back from it. Again,
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. It's the ship's going down, the airplane's going down.
Yep.
Just because it has a nice bathroom or one working engine, that isn't going to save it. You're just going to be on the ship when it goes down instead of bailing out with your parachute.
I don't think I like your analogy, Tim, but like I don't think this airplane even has one good engine or a nice bathroom. It's like, the seatbelts feel like Star Wars.
But I qualified
I feel like Steve. Yeah,
I qualified my analogy just saying, assuming for a minute that stuff like The Mandalorian actually was good. Not that it actually was. So anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, I look at The Mandalorian, I look at, what I'm hearing about the Bad Batch and all this other stuff, and then you look and there's the Acolyte and here's the Rogue Squadron, and I'm really thinking like, I don't see a turn here. Like I don't see I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. It's pretty pitch black. There's because like really, how long can you do a show like The Mandalorian that really kind of goes nowhere?
Mm-hmm.
Before Star Wars fans are just like, this is kind of a show about nothing, and the main character is an absolute nothing. He's just a complete zombie of a character. Don't even know anything really about him other than he was adopted into the Mandalorian culture.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
And now he's become a dad that he didn't expect to be. But he just gave up. But he just gave up his child.
But he's not going to be a dad now. So now I guess he's got to go and play around with Bo-Katan and get Mandalore back somehow.
Maybe he'll have a kid with Bo-Katan and we can go back to Babysitters in Space.
Oh my God! Yes, there you go.
Perfect. But in the time gap, like they can do a time jump, a 9-month time jump, and it comes back, and Bo-Katan's giving birth to Din Djarin's child.
Well, and I really don't understand how they.
It's force sensitive, and
of course.
And Luke Skywalker shows up to take this one, and he kills Luke Skywalker to save his kid.
Well, no, you can't kill Luke Skywalker. You need him to become Jake Skywalker later.
Hey, you can always retcon that shit in the comic book. It wasn't the real Luke.
Yeah.
Luke cloned himself, and Din Djarin killed the clone.
I really don't I don't understand how this universe isn't massively overpopulated. Because if we're going by the science of the Mandalorian, childbirth should be a breeze. Just have a back to spray can ready and you're good to go.
Yeah,
no harm. Just pop that baby out, little spritzy with the back to spray, and you're up and running.
And you're good to go. Fucking crazy, isn't it? What Star Wars has become.
Absolutely.
Anyway, we are going to start wrapping it up. I got another $5 from Jock Nerdy on Streamlabs. Thank you for that. He goes, off subject, Lyndon will be doing his What the Friday stream in about 10 hours on Twitch. Check my Twitter. I'll be promoting the fuck out of it. Thank you very much, Jock Nerdy, for the $5. Yes, go and support Lyndon. He got his copyright strike, but it looks like it's going to be taken down if it hasn't already. But go and follow him on Twitch. And if any of the mods can drop Lyndon's links for his YouTube and his Twitch in the chat, that'd be great. Thank you. So thank you for the $5 to everybody that did send super chats tonight. Let me give you, I'll give you this one
They
again.
came bounding over.
Fuck off, Disney! You fucking cunt!
You fucking cunts!
I love like that lady's reaction. He's like, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, whoa.
Like I definitely like I can understand what she's feeling in that moment. I've been side by side, with our good friend Raging Rhino when he's just goes off on Twitter.
Go nuts. I haven't had one of my big blow ups for a while, but I'm sure that's building, people. It's building. Wait till Obi-Wan comes out, and then we'll see me explode.
Well, I just think you need to watch some Twitch thought streams for a little bit, and that'll get you wound up.
Yeah. Watch these TikTokers say that they're fucking 12. Okay. I just want to quickly give a quick shout out to Ord's Board. Obviously, if you hadn't heard, his YouTube channel ended up getting demonetized. Look, I don't know the circumstances behind it. I just know that Ords has been a supporter of mine, and I've been watching Ords for a long time. And I think we sort of broke into the community in regards to doing our channels around a very similar time. So I know what the grind's like, and I know how pissed off I would be if my channel got demonetized for really no reason. So go and give him some support. Go and follow him on YouTube and on Twitter. Reach out to YouTube for him. Let him know that you're disappointed with what they're doing, whatever you want to do. But I just wanted to give him a shout out and say thanks, Ords, for everything you've done, and keep going, man. You'll hopefully things will work out for you. Let's go around. Greg, thank you for being here.
Hi.
Let everyone know where they can find you and what you've got coming up.
Just on Twitter and on YouTube, Lost Jedi 22. I'm working on some things. I don't know when they're going to come out.
Well, you better do that one that you told us about.
Yeah.
The script is done on that one. I just got to record it and then obviously edit in all the images and stuff. But
good, can't wait.
And see, the thing is for me when I get onto a subject and I start writing a script. Like the process of writing the script is therapeutic enough for me. Like by the time I kind of get my words out on paper, I feel like, okay, got it out of my system. But then again, other shit pops up and it's just like, nope, I need to make this point. So I will get that video out.
Yeah, good.
Probably early next week at the latest.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait for that one. It's been a while since we've had a video from you. So
I think you're gonna like it.
Yeah, good. Everyone, go and follow Lost Jedi 22 on Twitter and on YouTube, and also Open Airlock Policy. Please let everyone know where they can find you and what you've got coming up.
Yeah, I'm sure Blake will put the link out there. Lots of good things happening. I just surpassed 1,115 subscribers.
Nice.
So thanks to everyone. As of the other day, if you hadn't heard, memberships are open. I have a short video out there on what you're going to get as a member, and I'm still expanding that. And I pretty much have 10 members. Daniel James was number 9 today, and then Timon's waiting for his new credit card so he can attach that to whatever payment system he uses, and he's going to sign up, and he'll be number 10. So really surprised. Yeah, already 10.
Very
and
nice.
I'm very, very happy and appreciative of that. So supposedly I'm on my vacation and I'm not streaming, but I'm streaming tonight. And I let a video out today. I had to break up the Corellia lore because I think it's going to be an hour long. So that's out there. I put it in all the dozens of expanded universe groups I'm in on Facebook. So that's out there to be watched whenever you want. It's not time sensitive. It's an evergreen video. I wrote an article for Timon says yep, number 10.
Yep, number 10.
I wrote an article for expandeduniverse.com, submitted that. They take forever to post stuff, so sometime in the next month. But it's another casting for Heir to the Empire. If they had made a movie, if they had made a movie at the time that they should have made a movie, and this time the character's Talon Card. I'm not going to tell you who I cast in that role, though.
I'm very curious. I love his character. I love that character.
Well, wait till you see it, because hell, I'll probably share it with you, because it's it's not like you're going to go out and go, hey, look what he did, everyone. But yeah, I enjoyed writing.
I totally would do that.
And I've always thought this isn't like a new casting. I've thought this for over 25 years or more. So that's coming up. Shit, no streams at all, because I'm on vacation. I'm going to party hard on the 3rd, the day before Independence Day. And then I'll be back next Friday. So what is that? 8 days from now on the spacing early. I'm pretty much going to go as soon as FNT is over. I'm going to have these guys and whoever else that's going to be my celebration stream. It's been too long. I should have done a celebration stream earlier, but I didn't. So show up for that. We're just going to have a bunch of fucking fun, and I don't want to go on too much longer. So that's all the shit I have going on. Thanks, Rhino. Thanks for the invitation. Sorry for being late.
No worries. No, all good.
Is Rhino going to drink out of the bottle that night?
No. Maybe I'll have a drink, a celebratory drink, but that's it. Everyone in the chat, thank you for being here. Thank you to my panelists. Yes, patrons, thank you. We have Daniel James, Lethal Lightning, Open Airlock Policy, Lady Tariel, My Nerdy Home, Riff Magos, and Skimitar. Thank you all for your support. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you in the chat for all your support. I greatly appreciate that too. And everyone that sends super chats tonight. I've got to set up my memberships. I can do it. I've got to get my head around it. Maybe you can give me a hand with that, Tim. Yeah. So hopefully I can get that set up soon. And I actually want to sort of structure something around my patrons and around my memberships. So I will sort of start putting something together for that. That's also too why I haven't set it up yet, because I don't want to start taking your money.
Level one needs to be the tracking fobs. Level 2 needs to be the atmosphere light speeders. Level 3.
Level 3 is the
level 3 will be
the Luke Skywalker drinking milkers.
Milkers, I love it.
Milkers. Anyway, don't forget about Lyndon's stream on Twitch tonight. Make sure you go and give him some support. And of course, we've got the Full Aussie tomorrow night, which will be a lot of fun after my shenanigans last week. And we're not doing the thing. It's the stream that we do is the following weekend, isn't it?
Correct. It's not this weekend, next weekend.
Yeah, Fallen Night. Yeah,
Fallen Night. That's going to be on Tim's channel in pretty much a week from this weekend. So everyone, thank you for being here. I appreciate all of you, and good night.
Later.
I said Lyndon would go to the tree and do some ASMR for you, Lethal. In your honor.
I'm so sorry. He'd be hugging that tree. And then he'd be punching it and slapping it, going, "You took my friend." Kicking it. How dare you?
That would be you, Rhino.
Nah. I'd be there going, "Why? Fuck you, Disney! Why?"
They came bounding over.